Будешь ты стримить мой стрим.
Подожди, дядя, скоро.
Я.
Ля, жесть. О, побрился Сикрос, жесть.
Тоже сделаем забавные вещи, блядь, тоже откроем, блядь, Twitch.
Блять, я смотрю свой стрим с твоего стрима на стрим.
О, Сика, можешь помахать ручкой.
Охуенно.
Ну да ладно.
Блять, я запутался, в Дискорде мне смотреть Сикроса или где?
Я вообще не знаю, кто где смотрит стрим.
At level 1, you...
Уровень первый.
Since the normal formula of this video has me following levels, I've got nothing to follow for this one. Effort. So instead I've made a handy-dandy little sheet we'll follow because that's how videos work, right? So we've got the world, the players, the adventure, and running the game. Because I think these are the valuable things you'll want to learn in being a dungeon master. We'll be paraphrasing a lot because this video would be really long if I went over every single thing. So let's start off with the first one, the world. Now, I would start off with the players because they are the most important part of your game. You literally can't play without them. But D&D requires some foundation for your players to stand on. So, first things first. So you've got two options when it comes to your world. Option number 1, pre-written adventure. Grab one of these, read it, and you're done. Option number 2, making your own world. World building is really, really fun. It can also be really, really tough. If you want to make world building a lot easier for yourself, there's no other tool better than World Anvil. That's
Рекламка. Так, кстати, хорошая реклама.
imaginary friends. There's a lot you can do in World
Ага.
Building.
Только $60 в месяц, чтобы пользоваться этой что-нибудь такое.
Oh no, my notes! No! World Anvil is the great starting idea. Anyways, the Dungeon Master's Guide gives you some great starting ideas for making your own world. Let's review the core assumptions for Dungeons & Dragons if you're going to make your own world. Gods oversee the world. Much of the world is untamed. The world is ancient. Conflict shapes the world's history, and the world is magical. These are the things that make up a typical D&D world. Of course, you don't have to do them. But if you want to make this easy on yourself, then just follow them. These are typical fantasy tropes, and ignoring about 2 or 3 of these will no longer put it in that genre. For some examples with other media that use these assumptions are Pillars of Eternity, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, God of War, Warcraft, etc. But in my opinion, the best media representation of these core D&D assumptions is Elder Scrolls, specifically Skyrim. It takes each of these tropes and pins them into the main focal point of their world. The Aedra and Daedra affect the mortals like puppets. Nearly half of Skyrim hasn't been touched in ages. Not only is it ancient, with its very detailed history, but it also has conflicts set into its history from a time before with forgotten people, with cause and effect on how they came undone. And the world is brimming with magic. The reason I'm using it as an example is because there's very little D&D original things in Skyrim. It really seems like they've taken the source material from Dungeons & Dragons and flavored it to their own setting. This is a very long and overly explained way to just say Skyrim is a great example of world building in Dungeons & Dragons.
World building is not the same as writing a campaign. If you don't follow, it's because it's a tough pill to swallow.
Подожди, этого чувака никто не перевел на русский?
Да.
Да-да-да-да.
Вот еще одна причина, почему я изучал английский.
You can world build, and world build, but it doesn't matter until you start writing adventures and putting players into the game. If I'm gonna use the Skyrim example again, the world of Elder Scrolls is amazing, and I would read a book on its lore, but it isn't a game without the dragon lore. Writing a shit ton of lore doesn't mean anything if I can just pick up one of these and have generally the same amount of fun in compared to your massive amount of writing. My point is, this is called how to play the Dungeon Master, not how to world build.
Как играть за Dungeon Master, а?
Given all the advice I need on this subject.
Давай, Сика. Ты же играл за Dungeon Master, расскажи.
Ну чё?
Короче, ну расскажи.
Ну он всю правду сказал, что тебе надо-то, блядь. Зачем париться, создавать мир, если уже миллион себя создавали, блядь?
Ну да. А ты почему-то паришься, создаешь вот эту вот функтуру.
Мне просто нравится это делать. Потому что мне лень книги читать, блядь.
But if you want the basics, here you go.
Создай, блядь, мир по Дюне, ёбаный в рот.
Не, Дюна слишком сложно, там куча, блядь, стенок.
Make some gods, draw a map, write some factions, bake some kingdoms, build some cities, write some history, incorporate magic in there somewhere, and you got it, you did it. Congrats, you built your own world, good job, I commend you.
Че, Сика, ты создал все это говно? Ты
Ну,
молодец.
я этим занимался.
Figure your world out and then move on to the next step. Now that you have your world ready, you can start planning an adventure and a campaign for your players to play in.
А чё, у меня стрим закончился? Не понял.
Это Discord. Это у меня периодически бывает.
Чё, охреневший, что ли? Я, блядь, тут сижу, вникаю, блядь, а Discord слетает. Кстати, у меня, блядь, чат-то пашет. Угу, пашет. Давай, там, запускай.
Play in. So you'll want to make something relatively basic. It doesn't need to be super complicated, otherwise you're going to overwhelm them and they won't understand what's going on. The Dungeon Master's Guide has tables for world-shaking events, which I really like and highly suggest you use to frame your campaign under. You can use this to set up an adventure hook. For example, in my campaign, Sunder, which you can go check out on Arcane Arcade, I used discovery, expansion, or invention mixed with a cataclysmic disaster. Meteors fell from the sky and landed in many different places. These meteors contained a strange material that had magical properties none had ever seen before. Once you have that set up, you can create an adventure hook, and there's more details about them in the Dungeon Master's Guide if you want to read about the cause and effect of what these things would bring to your world. An adventure hook is how you're going to get your players into the game. Using Sunder as an example, the hook was, the party will be tasked with finding and uncovering one of these meteors. Done. That's what the party will be doing. Alright, on to the next step. The players! Probably the most important part. It is
Ну что,
important.
Сика, твоя самая веселая
Мне кажется, он серьезно тут объясняет, он особо шутки шутить не будет. Зачем
For the
ему
Dungeon
это?
Master to understand and empathize with their players first, because in your mind, it should come before those other things. I talk about this more in my first video on this channel.
I spent 6 years.
Здорово.
Здорово.
Привет, Маэль.
Не знаю,
writing
мне
this world
ранее тут
for-
показывают видосы
Oh
всякие.
yeah, you guys, just make sure you read the campaign notes and then we can delve further into my world!
This is a bad approach to DMing. I said it
Понял?
Что? Я 16 лет ничего не писал.
before and I'll say it again. The people sitting around the table playing the game with you are more important than your documents.
If you want to write a world in a story, don't make it a D&D game. Make it a book.
Понял, Сик?
Чё, я...
This in mind, figure out who's gonna
Читать надо твой мир. Где, блядь, книжка по
Бля,
твоему
как будто
миру?
бы они обычные миры читают, тоже мне, блядь.
Ну,
Тоже мне
кстати.
охуенно, блядь. Мой мир где читать, блядь. Этот мир, у каждого своя хуйня в голове, у каждого свой мир, блядь. Охуенные.
play with you. Once you have the people you're gonna play with, figure out a day that you can do Session 0. Session 0 is basically a game session where you get together.
А у вас была нулевая сессия?
Ебал в рот нулевые сессии, блядь.
Почему?
Не знаю. Я не знаю, зачем они вообще их делают.
Ну,
Блядь, типа, не могут заранее прописать, какого хера вы показали в этой ситуации, блядь. Что за бред, блядь? Нулевые сессии какие-то, блядь. А, ну типа, если говорить проверочная сессия, ну окей, тогда нормально. А если, блядь, нам нужно, короче, в нулевой сессии всех связать. Не, ебал в рот, сами себя связывайте. Я вам, блядь, чё...
Вот, посмотрим, что там чувак говорит.
Как контролер, блядь,
Let
веревочек.
the players understand what kind of adventure.
Че?
Не, ничего. Ты, блядь, ты посмотрел, заебись. Привет, я вижу самого себя, хочу передать самому себе привет на своем стриме. Охуенно.
Once upon a time, when I was preparing for one of my campaigns, I saw in Critical Role that Matthew Mercer had everyone make their characters in secret, so that when they got together for the first game, it would be a big surprise on who everyone was playing. It made it a bit more realistic in how they approached one another since they had no idea who these other people were. And I thought, wow, that sounds like fun. I'm going to do this. Never do this! It works for these guys because they're amazing. Go watch my other videos on why. But What you're doing when you're having everyone privately make characters is eliminating the chance at a group dynamic in a game about group dynamics. In my experience, I did this, and all my players ended up making very single-story, lone wolf mentality characters that did not get along as a party. So I'm here to warn all
Бля,
of you.
можно
Plan
паузу
Section
нажать? Они don't get along with the party, блядь, даже когда они, блядь... Мы создадим компанию, у которой все будут дружить, блядь. У всех
Да!
будет, блядь. Так, дворф на цепь! Дворф на цепь, не пей вино! Я сопартиец, я уважаю людей, но глубоко в душе мне уже больно.
Да, Борис, ты же хочешь попасть в дружную партию?
Ха-ха-ха, сучары.
Ну, блядь, это грустно вообще-то, блядь. Чё ты ржёшь, блядь? Спартиец, блядь, тоже мне нах.
Конечно. Давайте жить неконфликтно.
Дайте, подожди, я поставлю тег ДНД, а то мы что смотрим ДНД.
Да. How to play D&D, да?
How to play D&D, да. Кстати, хорошее название. How to play D...
Чего доброго и хорошего в своих ролках, да?
Я не знаю. Dungeon and Dragon.
Start your game.
Блядь, подожди.
Да, это 2 месяца назад было.
Ёбаный в рот, а как это поменять, подожди.
Чё ты меняешь?
Канал. Я не помню, какой тег под ДНД.
По-моему, Dungeons and Dragons.
Да, ну там по-дебильному. Ну так, что ли? Да.
Ты думаешь, что ты делаешь?
А, во, все нашел. Все нашел. Тег отжимания. Ой, бля, меня отжимать заставили. Сейчас, подожди, тут пришли.
Не, тебе еще никто ничего не заказал.
А я ему отжимаюсь, потому что у него теперь традиция. Вот была бы у тебя традиция, если у меня была катана, я бы каждый раз, когда на стрим заходил, катана так... А я яхо, шундеру, блядь, там что-то такое. Но у меня нет катана, поэтому... How to play D&D. Вот я тебе все переименую, кстати. Блять, остальное оставлю так. Это на Твиче удобно делать. В остальных местах нихера.
Можно посмотреть, за кого играет Смакевич. Как играть за паладина? Да, Горикс? Так,
Лучше загугли, как играть за избранного.
People, которые думают, что D&D это Skyrim. Понимаю. Горикс, ты думаешь, что D&D это Skyrim? О, это понравилось бы Весёлым, как играть за артифайсера.
Бля, мне, наверное, реально надо камеру другую купить, чтобы, потому что меня заебало ее перетаскивать. Миллионы раз.
Что есть гайд, который понравился бы Весёланту, как играть за артифисера.
Блять. Вот я знал, что не нужно вебку было убирать, потому что сейчас заказ еще. Ай, погоди.
Пока я тут смотрю всякие видосики, которые можно посмотреть, Сик там будет заниматься своим любимым делом, приседанием на бутылку. Самое забавное, типа, баллы-то не тратятся, а Сика все равно приседает. Вот это магия. Сика, как ты это делаешь? О,
Повезло, повезло.
Must have. Stealthing in D&D. Get back.
Здорово, кокаин. Так, мне вебку ставить назад? Я уже поставил.
Вот то забавное чувство, когда типа баллы не трачено, а сика все равно на бутылке. Магия.
Давай, продолжай шарманку. Спасибо, господину Ярику, за все.
And have the characters learn who the other characters are. This will prepare each person for what kind of party they will be in. You won't
Что персонажи знают, ё-моё, о бэкграунде? Нихуя.
Нет, так если он рандомно сделал, если они все связаны, так я не вижу проблемы.
У характеров могут быть секреты. Оло. Можно отыграть максимального урода.
Есть там характеров без секретов, блядь. Вот так вот.
Ну, плут, который потом убьет тебя в спину, лол.
Не, там не об этом было. Там было типа, что он рандомно создал персонажей и рандомно вручил людям. А потом такой, ой, блядь, что-то все, блядь, начали друг друга убивать. В первой сессии.
Что-то пошло не так,
Как так можно-то, блядь?
Here's how to go about your session 0. Get everyone together, give them a basic premise on your world, or the pre-writtens. Basic! I said basic! Don't bore them with all the lore you've written. Then, give them their adventure hook, which we wrote earlier. Once they have their hook, start making their characters. Try to work in reasons for them to go on your adventure. If someone's making a druid character...
Это те 400 рублей, которые я думаю...
Чё? Эти 40 рублей.
И еще разочек.
Еще раз, еще два, блин, у меня, кстати, нету... А, кокаин здоров, а то я не поздоровался, может. Блин, у меня нет человека, который меня приседать заставляет, кстати.
Понимаю.
Ненавижу свою вебку.
Так, вижу гайд на сорсера. Может, найду и на колдуна.
На Визарда вверху был.
Но это Визард это волшебник, а колдун это, блядь, что-то другое. Это называется. А, Варлок, вот, гайд на Варлок. Блядь, тут даже есть на Бладхантера гайд. Вот. Players who make powerful character. Вот это да, вот это сила. My favorite feat. Let's see. Magic Missile, там цвет. А, ты там это. Качается, сика на прокачку. Вот это тоже забавная вещь.
Фу, блядь. Продолжаем, блядь. Все.
Deep dragon heist. Pose the question of the adventure hook towards them and try to come up with a reason on why they would be a part of the
Реклама,
campaign. Why
блядь,
would your
Эндерсон.
character want 500,000 gold? Most of the time, that player will see this as a challenge, an attempt to make their own story on why they would want such a thing. If so, you perfectly put them into the game on their own terms and they'll care about your plot hook. Also, don't be afraid to weave them into your world. It is a great way for your players to feel like they are a part of a living, breathing world.
Что?
Хорошо. Все, что сейчас было, это было хорошо.
Their families be noble houses in your city. Put one of their warlock patrons in your pantheons of powerful people. This is not your story, it's everyone's story. Alright, so you
понимаешь, Сик? Это история всех,
Да.
а не просто твоя.
20, 26, плюс 6, плюс 6, плюс 6, плюс 6, плюс 6, плюс 6, плюс.
Now, time to prep. Take your adventure hook and think about where it will lead the party. If it's a pre-written, read up on the next chapter and make sure you have a good understanding of everything going on. You don't need to read the entire book, but a few chapters is good. If you're writing your adventure, keep it simple. The party may not do everything you write down, so you don't want to expend more work than necessary. You'll want to write your adventure as basic as possible. That way, you can make up what the players do if they decide to go somewhere else instead of forcing them on your railroads. Everybody knows that railroading is dumb and stupid. Every adventure can be boiled down to the players learn X, they go accomplish Y, so that they can Z. In the case of my Sunder campaign, the players learn about the meteor. They go to find the meteor so that they can get paid. Then you can get into the nitty-gritty details. Where do they go? How do they find it? What will they encounter? Be as creative as possible. To start, have a starting location. Taverns are always great, but anything works.
Он что, их сам рисовал, блядь?
Такие карты дохуя, нахуй.
Or maybe they are about to head into a dungeon.
А кто-то ж их
Or maybe
рисует.
you cut right into the middle of action
Ну, кто-то их рисует, согласен.
as they're fighting a bunch of goblins, or just as they step off a boat into a new land. Play to the characters. If you have a character with a noble background, maybe their nobility will be a hand in gaining favor with the city. Maybe one of them is a lizard folk.
Здорово,
Have an
Excel.
encounter that involves
Ты пропустил
crafting
всё.
or swimming. When you're making your adventure, you have to involve the players. Even when you're writing. They will be much more engaged with your game if you simply
Снежка
take
подошел
into account their
писать.
existence. Of course, you'll want to include some combat. Fighting monsters is always a lot of fun, and having active threats in your game will keep it interesting. You don't always have to have combat in your games, because some groups are always different.
Да
but
Ярик
their
ворвался.
lives should always be at stake. The way I make my encounters is with this list. Location, enemy, reason, wildcard. First off, location. Where will the encounter take place? Swamps? Cave? City? A city encounter will be much different than a cave encounter. Enemy. Who are they fighting? If we're in a swamp, maybe they're fighting trolls. It doesn't make much sense for them to be fighting urban assassins in a swamp. Or is it? And this is a strange mystery.
Мало смысла, бля, к примеру, не знаю, внезапно жаболюды с небес падают, а такой, бля.
They will have to uncover strange things happening in the swamps. Maybe teleportation is reason. Why are the trolls attacking the players in a swamp? Are they hungry? Are they protecting something? Or are they working for a master? Or they're a hive mind and they're connected via mystic psionic powers and there's some ancient evil in the swamp that's taking over. Wildcard. Throw something weird in there to surprise the players and keep it interesting. Maybe the trolls are undead. Or the swamp is poisonous and the party will have to avoid stepping in it. Or maybe the trolls misunderstand their targets and are sentient good creatures that help them after 2 rounds of combat. I don't know, you decide. Now, you've got your adventure ready. If you want to, you can go ahead and print all this out and make some maps and get some minis and prep the encounters, have pictures, etc, etc. There's tons of tools out there on helping you prep to be a dungeon master. And now, after spending 3 weeks planning because everyone had work and school and no one could figure out a day to play, so we just waited until randomly someone
Спустя 3 недели сделал всю домашнюю работу.
got the day off and we got a 4-hour window to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Ну что
It's
будет?
time. Running the game. Your players are sitting around the table, talking about their weeks, catching up, asking rules, making jokes, etc. Everyone is here, and now it's your moment. First off, breathe. Relax. This is a game. Its purpose is to be fun. No need to take this so seriously that it hurts you. Just remember to have fun. Bring everyone together and start them off on your adventure hook and starting location. Have them each introduce their characters with descriptions. And then send them off into the adventure. Don't rush, but don't stop.
Они еще говорят, что им нравится, но потом начинают сраться между собой. Ничего не знаю, меня даже никто палками не тыкает. У них там какие-то проблемы уже другого масштаба.
Find the happy medium. Your favorite sentence is now going to be, so, what are you all going to do? Or, you can certainly try. If you forget a rule, just make it up on the fly.
Понимаешь, Сик, они всегда
Я, блядь,
могут
правила на ходу
попытаться.
только и делаю, что придумываю.
Понимаешь, Сик, они всегда могут попытаться.
Ну и скукотища, там были веселые ролики. Я же думал, геймом это, не знаю, мне весело.
And if somebody is,
Динь-дон,
then they're
бимбо.
gonna-
Спасибо, колдун, за
Dungeons and
подписку
Dragons
на
is all
2К10.
about the stories that you make with these guys. what's happening at the
Верно.
table.
Правда, это фоллоу.
Sometimes
Ну,
they don't
зафоллоу,
follow what
да.
you wrote, and
Ну хорошо,
that's okay.
follow.
Just run with it. If
Отслеживают
they decide to go
стика
fight the
тебя,
trolls
понимаешь?
Или как там, подожди, как
they
там
decide
Вержон
to
говорил,
go
надо...
off.
Оп, оп, алло, спасибо за фоллоу, Макс, ёп ты, бля. Ну, типа, чтобы...
Off
А
into
то вдруг
the
я
ocean,
не шевелю своей
find the
задницей.
lake and go fishing. Well, make up fishing rules. You can figure it out. I think
Fishing
you can
rules, блядь,
figure
у меня
it
была
out.
битва
And
с
whatever
пивом,
you
блядь.
end up doing, it'll be
Босс-туалет.
DM's guide has a load of cool
Здорово,
tools and
здорово,
rules
колдун.
on how to run your game
У меня была
smoothly.
битва с
Just
пивом.
review them when you can, not now.
Да, с туалетом
Do your
3
best.
часа дрался, бля.
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how to have fun
Нет.
with your friends.
Ладно, не
That's
3,
on you.
ну, почти
Plus,
3.
there's like 40,000 guides on how to do that. So, congrats. You're the
Будем
dungeon
близко.
master. You're gonna have
А
a
ты
lot of fun
колдун
doing it.
Dungeon Master.
So will your friends. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some encounters to write up.
Так, тут еще есть видосик, как начать вашу игру.
Через 2 часа и 25 минут освобожусь, окей, мы пока хуйней занимаемся.
So you're gonna.
Ну, у меня же сегодня вечером ролка. Подожди, блядь, написать надо.
Так, ну ладно, как раз заряжаем тебя от ДНД. Где тут, блядь?
Ну как, я не знаю, там будет много сранья, блин.
Так, блядь, где у нас тут вот Power... Во! Стелсинг in D&D. Поехали.
Хотя
Okay,
вообще...
so you're gonna start.
Стелсинг.
Да, стелсинг.
Я ни разу не играл очень далеко от этого.
О, нихуя себе, блядь, тут все же выпустили фан фэнтези. Это, короче, те чуваки, которые еще рисовали всякие фан-видосики по Dark Souls.
Я помню.
Надо будет чекнуть как-нибудь.
Start stealthing. You've got a party full of loud bards, and you want to get the sneaky spy
Парти
hero
бардов,
dungeon.
бля.
Как
So you're gonna
тебе...
start stealthing. You've got a party full.
Блядь.
Бля, не, я думаю, надо все это, короче, знаешь, озвучить и выложить на YouTube. И срубить просмотров.
Ну, я думаю, с ДНД сообщество, которое забивает болт на английский, сделает тебе... Скажет тебе большое спасибо.
Угу. Специально приносили
Окей.
договорились на этот
Full
день.
of loud bards, and you want to get the
Да я, блин, я думал, мы днем играть будем.
Damage instant ragdoll sneak attack.
Что это?
Подожди.
Кто с кем разговаривает?
Не,
Что
ты
такое?
продолжай, я сейчас тут.
So you tell your DM,
I want to stealth.
and he's like, and you're wondering how this mechanic even works, and people have eyeballs and passive perception, and they can very clearly see your body right there with a ball. This isn't Skyrim. You fire anyway.
Прослеживается огромный выбор.
Okay, players and DMs, I'm going to show you how this whole thing works because it can be pretty confusing, especially with all the abilities and terminologies in this game. But while I have your attention, perhaps stick around for a little while and listen to our sponsor, World Anvil.
Stuck in quarantine on lockdown with nothing to do.
Stay 6 feet away from me!
Can't leave the house, can't play Dungeons and Dragons except for maybe online. Well, you could catch up on your world building and use World Anvil to
Блять,
get
опять реклама.
Так, мы не спонсируем, мы решили так, смотрим.
World Anvil and use my code.
Не, я знаю,
with a
меня Настя не
10%
слышит.
off a subscription link down below.
Okay, so you may be thinking stealthing is easy. All you need to do is roll stealth and beat the passive perception. It's simple. It's not that simple.
You see, there's different official titles for
Понимаешь, Сика, это просто. Ну, не просто.
stealthing. To be perfectly clear, you can hide as an action, and when you hide, you make a dexterity stealth check. Now, hiding has its own little blurb in the player's handbook that simply states,
Здорово,
at the DM's
здорово.
discretion, may a player
Всем.
hide and make a stealth check against the searcher's perception check or passive perception. Passive perception being 10 plus your perception skill.
Now, at the DM's discretion kind of sort of means just whatever makes sense. Like if I'm standing here and there's a bad guy over there, I can't just enter stealth.
When I DM, I typically require a sensible way to hide or obscure yourself. A rock, a tree, or the skulker feat. What is a skulker?
Чё, блять, какого?
Ну, фрагмент, ты, короче, должен придумать место, где можно спрятаться.
Ну, камушек, блядь.
Нет, ты не понял, Сика, тут, короче, блядь, все намного
For
круче.
yourself, a rock.
Да вон же камень,
Or
блядь.
the skulker feat.
Блядь, сука. Можно было-
Не понял, блядь. В смысле, что он делает-то, блядь? Подожди,
А ты зачитай первую строчку.
You expert of skulking for shadow, you gonna... Да блин, чтобы была тень, нужно, чтобы эта тень что-то падала.
Не, Сика, ты читай вот эту вот тупо строчку, вот эту вот.
Нет, в тенях-то можно, блин.
Не, тут фишка light obscured, и ты такой думаешь, что это значит, что, блядь, легкая...
Ну в тенях, блядь, да в тенях, ёбаный в рот, блядь.
Короче, сейчас тебе будут пояснять за этот рофл.
Was a skulker feat? Well, it does a couple of things. It's a feat that you can take at one of those levels. You can try to hide when you are lightly obscured from a creature from which you are hiding. When you are hidden from a creature and miss it with a ranged weapon attack, making the attack doesn't reveal your position. We'll get to that later. And dim light doesn't impose disadvantage on your perception checks relying on sight. We're going to focus on that first ability. You can try to hide when you are lightly obscured from the creature from which you are hiding. This entails that you can typically not hide if you are lightly obscured. In a lightly obscured area, such as dim light, patchy fog, or moderate foliage, creatures have disadvantage on perception checks relying on sight. Now, normally, I would say anyone could hide in those conditions.
Ты прояснить, в чем рофл? Да, я... Да рофла не было, просто написано, ну там написано в духе в слабо освещенных местах.
Ну, короче, фишка в том, что, типа, это та херня, которая дает тебе слабое заслонение, то есть, типа, ты можешь, грубо говоря, встать за человеком и спрятаться за ним. Вот это вся фишка этого фита.
However, if we're going to take a very literal, hardcore, rules as written view on this, you technically can't hide if you're lightly obscured. You would need to be, by all technicality, heavily obscured. Heavily obscured is in a fog cloud, pure darkness, etc. Or with cover. Cover is a whole mechanic that can increase your armor class when you stand in front of something. Cover doesn't obscure you. And being obscured doesn't give you cover.
Понимаешь? Заслонение тебя не затемняет, грубо говоря.
Да, то есть, типа, укрытие не прячет тебя, бля, а тень тебя не защищает. Да. Это что тебя не защищает, это еще согласен, бля.
Вот так, прям.
Да я знаю, как мы будем... Бля, да я спрятался, да ты что, охуел, не спрятался ты, это все, блядь.
There's no literal definition, and it doesn't say either one, except for a feat that specifies you can now stealth in lightly obscured areas, meaning that obscuring is what you need in order to stealth. Either way, being obscured and cover both block vision, which is what you need to do to hide. Fun fact, creatures with dark vision see darkness as dim light, effectively making everything
забавно, блядь. А чуваки все равно все видят, блядь, в темноте, блядь.
Plainly from a creature with dark vision, but someone with the skulker feat could. So, anyways, you're in combat. You run behind a wall and hide. Your stealth beats the passive perception of that other guy. You now gain advantage on your attack so long as you don't move. Then, as soon as you attack, whether you hit or miss, that dude now knows you're there and is aware of your presence. Meaning, in order to successfully hide again, you need to move to a new hiding spot, which, to me, is really nonsensical. Popping out here, then clearly running to a new cover spot to hide and having any yes, he's gone. Is weird and...
Как тебе сила кайтинга?
Какого кайтинга? Он типа его ёбнул, такой убегает, бля, прячется. Я спрятался. Что значит? Бросай проверку на восприятие. Ты что, охуел? Да ты ж прям, блин, вот за той тумбочкой, хоть ты мне не бросай. Что значит я не прокинул? Он за тумбочкой. Ёбаные рофлы.
But I guess there's ways to explain it, like, oh, well, he was distracted and didn't keep track of where he moved because he was busy doing this other thing. Technically, the player's handbook says nothing about cover, and I think it does for a reason. You can use the hide action in combat, but it's at the DM's discretion. Meaning you can't just run behind a wall and then the enemy forgets your existence entirely. So here's my way of doing stealth.
Блядь, для всего
Since my
спрятался,
players
его не
really like to run
существует.
behind walls and stealth and don't think it makes sense when an enemy just knows you're there, I give them the best of both. Enemies never forget where characters are, they just can't see you. So if you beat that stealth check, you're not hiding, you're acting unpredictably. The enemy will still know you're there and may try to find you, in which, if he looks around the wall, he's gonna see you. If you're plainly in vision of the creature, it's going to be able to see you, obviously. However,
блядь, игрок
you
начнет
still get
орать.
advantage of
Не-не-не,
your
он меня не
attack roll,
видел.
so long as he never finds you. That's basically stealth in combat. Stealth can also be used in travel and right before combat. Group stealth can be acquired over long periods of travel as long as the group moves at a slow pace. And if you and your group stealth against a group of goblins passive perception, you can get a surprise round where everyone who successfully stealth gets a free round of combat where only they act. So what did we learn today? That stealth mechanics are weird and they probably shouldn't be used that much in combat because combat is a fight and you can't just disappear unless you cast a spell like invisibility or you teleport or something along the lines like that. And that's
Понимаешь, Сика, когда ты там становишься невидимым или кастуешь телепорт хуй пойми куда, это не значит, что ты еще, блядь, скрылся нахуй. Понял, Сика?
Угу.
basically stealth mechanics. Wait a minute, I'm not Logan. Once again, it's
У меня
always
звук, кстати,
DM's
отставать
discretion.
стал
You
или
can
чё?
do a color.
Странно.
А чё?
Или это типа в Дискорде звук отстает?
А чё?
Да не знаю, он рот открывает, а при этом слов нету.
Это видос.
Видос. Вау.
Whatever the heck you want. Just stop ruling your stealth mechanics like Skyrim. It doesn't make any sense.
У нас также, ну так вы же видите то, что я показываю.
Also, big shout out to the patrons. We just uploaded another homebrew pack. If you want some homebrew stuff, go check out the Patreon. Turo, Wind, Bandit, Trinket,
О,
Mario
перестала.
Set, Face, Joshua Samuel Lapple, Clammed Oyster, Tyler Carruthers.
Это он типа просто благодаря чуваков, которые ему деньги накидали.
Chance Blackburn, Cal the God, Blaine L. Olson, Pyro Pythons, Nason Rogis, Ariados L, Travis Frisbee, Will Pratt.
Спасибо. Так, ну что, Сика, ты готов увидеть
О, да, да.
тру геймплей Роги?
Показывайте, хуебанов.
Stealth murder assassin. So you're gonna play rogue, huh? Stealth murder assassin with a vendetta on killing things, extra
блин,
deader,
так бомбить
staying in the
будет,
shadows and
короче,
shooting
на этот
crossbow bolts
класс.
from miles away, landing tons of damage. I swear I'm not the ranger. Maybe you just really like Assassin's Creed and you want a character that pokes people with the death needle and they instantly die with no screams of agony. Here's how to play rogue.
Че, он будет здесь наконец-то угар делать, а не... О,
Rogue is a very straightforward class. There are only about 2 things you need to manage at level 1. Sneak attack, and the fact that you're playing rogue. All rogues come with the ability called sneak attack, where if you ever get the drop on the victim, you get to do extra damage. You get this bonus when you're poking him right in his butt, if your buddy comes up and fights with you, or if you ever just straight up get advantage on your attack roll. The more you level up, the more d6s you get to add to your sneak attack, and the more you get to keep pestering the DM for advantage and putting ability scores improvements into dexterity. That way you can take feats like mobile and be an assassin at level
Ну,
3.
тоже слышал песенку про Mobile Fits. Да, Сика?
Да-да-да, блин.
Naruto by your victims and do tons of damage while getting the ability to run away like a little bitch. Also at level 1 you get expertise, allowing you to pick 2 skills and double your proficiency in them, because all rogues have the natural born ability to not
Сколько,
only be pretty
сколько?
good at what they do,
Покажи Ульбергу циферки. Он магов ненавидит.
Так я за плута следующую буду играть, если мы будем.
Ну вот, вот это как раз гайды тебе.
Окей, ничего тебе
because all
уёбки.
rogues have the natural born ability to not only be
Думаю,
pretty
мы
good at what they
переслушаем
do,
песенку про Sneak Attack.
Да давай,
И про
блин.
Mobile Fit.
they are skilled artisans who perfect their craft to be unmatched by any other adventurer. Also known as free +4 to stealth at level 1.
Бесплатно плюс 4 на стелс на первом левеле.
Угу.
Oh, yeah.
Сейчас с дурацкой механикой, блядь. Скрытности.
Это называется компетенция.
Компетенция, блядь. Импотенция у меня начинается, блядь, когда я слышу такую компетенцию.
The cotton candy spray paint will illuminate the dink-dink.
Говорить какую-то непонятную хуйню.
Это, короче, он пророфлил насчет этого воровского сленга. Ты понял, Сик? Там же
Да, я знаю, да.
Сленг.
This is known as Thieves' Cant, a special language only other rogues and thieves can understand. At second level, you get Cunning Action. As a bonus action, you can dash, disengage, or hide.
Вот так это выглядит.
Это выглядит...
В реальной жизни.
У нас так же, блядь. Это выглядит как ГМ, сейчас сердечный приступ случится.
Короче, когда ты видишь, что игрок примерно делает такую же дичь, представляй эту картину.
Куда же он мог деться, да, бля?
At level 3, you get to pick your roguish archetype. There are 3 different archetypes as demonstrated here. The first being Thief. This type of rogue can climb up walls, steal things quicker than your eyes can move, and can move faster than any other type of rogue. The second is Assassin. This one's a given.
А чё такая тишина, блядь?
Что там типа у них охуительные бонусы на все это говно.
Бля, хочу задушить этого чувака, бля.
The third is Arcane.
Чё, Сик?
Да не, ничего, продолжай, бля.
Стоп, расклесник телевизор.
Trickster, a type of rogue that uses magic to aid in their roguish abilities.
Короче, как играть за Аркан Рогу.
What? What the fuck?
Это электрическая плита?
What the crap?
А знаешь, в чем рофл? А знаешь, в чем рофл? У Роги вот этого есть магическая рука невидимая. И, короче, можно сделать такой пранк, типа, такой за углом стоишь, и эту рукой, короче, хуйню всякую делаешь. Ты понял эту пародию?
Блядь, вот Ромель Малкавиан нам запретил, блядь, я скоро Рогов запрещу. Здорово, чё, да мы просто видосики про ДНД смотрим, чё.
Dodge stuff better, понимаю.
Level you get Uncanny Dodge, which allows you to dodge stuff better. Because your dexterity wasn't already high enough.
Так он
And
так и
at
работает,
7th level
колдун.
you get Evasion, which allows you to dodge stuff better. So when a dragon breathes fire on your whole party, incinerating them in one foul swoop, you can hip-hop away like nobody's business because rogues are impossible to kill! At 11th level, you get Reliable Talent. Since rogues are masters of their skills and craft, they've spent meticulous time learning how to stay in the shadows, pick locks, and uncover secrets. Rogues are the craftiest class in all of Dungeons and Dragons, getting
Бля, я вспоминаю, нажми на паузу.
further their career.
Знаешь, как это самая смешная смерть Рога, которую я видел? Короче, в амфитеатре. А, ты ж, по-моему, тогда был с нами. Ты смотрел нашу игру, когда ты голову человеку разбил? Типа на 2 группы был разделен отряд.
А, да, был.
Блин, короче, люди с ума сходят в амфитеатре, начинают набрасываться на всех там. Чувак за Рога играет, и просто, ну, я такой думаю, он либо Рог, либо маг, он бежит просто вперед на толпу, к троим побегает, такой, блядь, рублю его.
Он подумал, что он файтер.
И он на первом же ходу слетает, блядь, охуенно.
И такой Джем такой, Так, ты что-то как-то странно, конечно, поступил, да.
Also known as, now you can't roll below 9 on stealth. Woo! Also, at this point, if you've done everything right, the stealth bonus should be a plus 13! And now you can never roll below a 9, meaning you'll...
Понимаешь, Сика? Плюс 13 на стелс.
Ага.
always get a 23 to stealth.
Да, это он, короче, тебе задвигал про... Короче, как этот нахуй...
Я понял, блядь, минимум 3...
Тренированный навык.
Да я понял, блядь. 23, блядь.
14th level you get blind sense. And now you've become the ultimate rogue. The master rogue. The invisible night stalker of death. So much to the point that you now see all the little rogues. The rogues in training. Just like you back in levels 1 and 2. You catch that shit well and can sense anything trying to hide from you within 10 feet. Even if they're invisible. At 15th level you get Slippery Mind, which gives you proficiency in wisdom saving throws. Yay! It's 18th level.
Типа он все видит,
now you
блядь.
get elusive.
Да! Ты делай в 10 фитах от себя. Ой, дождь и финсы работали, блядь. Короче, пиздец.
You have become a master of the dodge. You can dodge anything. You can zip, zap, bip, bop, hip, hop all over the battlefield, and no one can ever hit you. And now the chances are even slimmer. Now no one can ever get advantage against you. So now all the little rogues, whoever thought they could beat their masters, now can't even stealth near them, nor land a sneak attack.
Точно, блядь, я вспомнил, на 15-м левеле тебя невозможно, сука, блядь, получить преимущество над тобой. Бля, точно, я вспомнил.
Смешно. Огонь, все, маги, блядь.
Well, that's it when it comes to rogue. Yeah, that's about everything that you get. Oh, wait, sorry. I forgot the last one. Let's see here. Stroke of Luck. It's at level 20. You have an uncanny knack for succeeding when you need to. If your attack misses a target within range, they can turn that miss into a hit. Alternatively, if you fail an ability check, you can treat the roll as a 20. This is why you never see high-level rogues in D&D. They don't even exist. They move in between dimensions of existence. They seemingly exist, but also do not exist. They defy the laws of nature as its own, purely.
Поставь лайк,
One single thing.
Лайк поставь, Никита, дай как скинь мне это видео, лайк поставлю, блядь. Если ты провалился, ты все равно преуспел, блядь. Что? Что?
Это сила. Роги.
Скинь, блядь, как тут, блядь, из Дискорда нормально, блядь. О.
Я, блядь, скинул уже. Могу, блядь, в чат на Твиче скинуть.
Сейчас.
Stealth murder, assassin, down, killing things.
Подожди, а там что, нету варлока, блядь? Или варлок настолько всратый, что он никому не нужен?
Так, я вижу бар, блядь. Может, у него есть ветка, блядь, плейлистов, где он там записал все говно. Ой,
вон, how to play. Внизу.
Вот how to play.
Боевой замок.
How to play. Так, ровно. Вот, варлок, 4 минуты.
Ну, покажи, как он его обсирает, я хочу поржать.
Сейчас, может, тут новая версия есть. Фидж.
О, блядь, какая опять игра за... Не, давай варлока запускай.
У тебя первого?
Давай первого, ну по очереди давай.
How to play Warlock.
So you want to play Warlock, huh? The Delver of Dark Magic, the edgiest character next to the Rogue. Maybe you just really like Cthulhu and you're like, yeah, I'll have what he's having. Here's how to play Warlock.
Здорово, ХБ.
Warlocks are notoriously one of the most evil classes to play in Dungeons and Dragons. At level 1, you gain 2 abilities. Otherworldly Patron and Pact Magic. Otherworldly patrons allow you to choose one of the 3, or 5 if you have Xanathar's Guide, patrons to grant you your Voodoo Mama Juju spells. There are 3 to choose from. The Archfey, a whimsical elven spirit who watches over the Feywild. She or he may grant you the curious nature of many woodland folk who derive
Бля, мне кажется, надо записать просто ролики, где он бегает, блядь, между деревьями.
Demogorgon as your patron and wreak havoc onto the world with the game's shittiest abilities known to date.
Alright, Jacob, it is your turn.
Alright, I'm gonna attack him. Crap! I'm going to use my almighty eldritch demon powers and use my dark one!
Это ты паузу нажал? А, блин, опять вылетел. Сука, блядь, настолько злые силы, что тебе интернет уронили, блядь.
Нет,
Охуенно.
настолько злые силы, что у меня вылетает Дискорд. Не знаю. Короче, правда будет очень забавно.
Mighty eldritch demon powers and use my dark one's luck!
Yeah, 27. Don't get that until another long rest. The Great Old One. Basically, it's all about the mix of knowledge, power, and using it and all that.
But you
ДНД
get
зло.
almighty tentacle powers so you can break...
Часик.
Нет, так Корм пишет, что ДНД зло. Так ты никогда не играл, никогда не поймешь. Может,
Да.
может для тебя Хурпса лучше. Может, ты бизнес хочешь всегда устроить в ролевой игре.
He's the mighty devastator Cthulhu! Ah!
And if you're using Xanathar's Guide, the Celestial, an otherworldly angel who grants you the power of life and goodness.
Сила Иисуса.
Are you the cleric?
Nope. Or the Hexblade. Fucking show fighter the 1-2 and stab people with the sword using your charisma.
I have trained for years in the art of combat. This sword is an extension of myself. I will destroy you with my fighting powers.
Ну, бля, да, примерно как я за Варлока играл. Подожди, можно паузу нажать?
You gain an almighty
Нажми паузу. Паузу нажми.
2 spells and 2 cantrips with 1 spell
Боевой
slot.
замок, блядь.
Why? Because you're a piece of garbage, that's why. Level 2, Eldritch Invocations.
Паузу нажми! Паузу! Бля, вот, блин, у меня теперь 2 шутки, я не знаю, с какой начать. Бля. Начнем с того, что да, бля, чернокнижники там мусор. У тебя 2 заклинания. 2 заклинания, блядь. И 1 слот, блядь, на 1-м уровне. Ты кастанул и все, ты больше нихуя не можешь. Не, хотя что ты можешь, по-моему, ты пердушка.
Контрипы!
Ага, контрипы, когда ты, блядь. АГМ же уйдет. Знаешь, такой АГМ сидит, так, чё, какие у тебя контрипы? Ядовитые.
Элдридж Бласт.
Ядовитые.
Элдридж Бласт.
Элдридж Бласт. Так ты, блин, ты все возьмешь, ГМ такой, я тебе подсуну тех, кого ты не можешь пиздить, блядь.
Да, блядь, тот варлок, который не берет Элдридж Бласт, это не варлок, это, блядь, это даже не варлок, короче, блядь. Варлок без Элдридж Бласта не варлок, я считаю.
Choose up to 2 of the many invocations in the Warlock class.
Да,
Some of them are
инвокация.
super awesome and can enhance your abilities as a Warlock, like Agonizing Blast and Armor of Shadows. Or you could take Eyes of the Runekeeper and Beast Speak.
Dude, you don't want to mess with Methugulek the Devastator.
And why is that?
He has Eldritch Invocations.
What can he do with invocations?
Just look.
Oh, Moose. No one will ever understand me like you do.
The horror!
Условности несостыковки человеческие сводят на все. Нет, все хорошее. Мне кажется, условности несостыковки делают все хорошим. Ну, вообще быть в этом сзади. В итоге это сколько там пишет свои комплексы высокого, лично мне это совсем не весело интересно. Короче, это особая форма отшибленности мозга. Не осуждаю, но и не поддерживаю. Не знаю, по-моему, это охуенно.
To pick your boon, there are 3 boons to choose from. The first being Pact of the Tome. Pact of the Tome gives you knowledge and understanding, and new cantrips that you can cast. Pact of the Blade. You can summon a weapon into your hands to defeat your foes. And Pact of the Chain. You get it familiar.
I call upon the powers of the Great Old One! What the hell?
Level Levels 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and 9 are all ability score improvements and new spells along with the new invocations, so you can slowly upgrade yourself as you level up, picking different invocations and spells to improve your warlock powers. The only new ability you'll get is Mystic Arcanum, which allows you to cast 6 level spells, so Warlock kinda almost feels like it falls short. Except for level 20! Level 20, you get your epic ability known to rival mortals, to devastate universes, to conquer unknown lands! You spend a minute and gain all of your spell slots back, once per long rest.
Это после того, как блядь, уроки. О, я могу, блядь, любое неудачное действие сделать удачным. О, а я могу все свои заклинания перезарядить 1 раз в день, блядь.
Сука.
Особенно по 2-3 срачей после каждого вашего урока. Знаешь, например, как любители дота говном бурлят после чемпионата, всякий там сезон вроде говна поели, но вроде довольны. 2-3 дня зависит от людей, не знаю. У меня нет никаких срачей. Вот там еще, давай еще Варлока.
Again, снова.
Hey everybody, before the video starts, I'm gonna give a huge shout out
Не,
to my
о, нажми
Patreon
паузу,
right
нажми
now.
паузу, нажми паузу. Ну, там, не, конечно, на XP подписывайтесь, на Patreon, деньги тратьте, чувак контент делает. По поводу того, что Garbage, не, смотря как Варлоков реализуют. Там же они, по идее, с сатаной общаются, сатана может тебе подкидывать бустов.
Да, или ебануть тебя молнией.
Ну да.
Заебись. Да, Безбухлох. Понимаю.
Типа того.
Че, продолжаем?
Давай.
Tyler and I, hi Tyler, have been working on these packs.
Блядь, так бы и смотрел на него, блядь, на ковре.
In them. We just got done with a dragon one, and the brand new one is like pirate themed, and it has a new feat, an NPC, and even a dungeon. There's some really cool art done by Dice Dip. There's a link, yeah, and you, yes, and you as well. There is a link to his stuff down in the description, and a link in the description to the Patreon if you want to get this stuff. Go check it out. We worked really hard on it. Okay, here's the video now. Are you confused? So am I. This is a video I made a while ago and I don't think I really did it properly. After some experience playing Warlock along with the new content for the class, figured I'd redo it. So here we go. Here's how to play Warlock. Again.
Какие там срачи могут быть, блин? Гейм всегда прав. Даже если не прав.
I'm not beholden to what you seek. Take my hand and forget your past. My power is yours and you only had to ask. Eldritch blast, Eldritch blast. At will spells at my fingertips to cast. Rituals, power, and aberrant voices. The cleric isn't happy with my life choices. More.
Понимаешь, когда ты играешь за Варлока, ГГ может дать тебе какую-то хуйню, блядь.
Что можно завершение успешной ролки, блядь, ее завершение, блядь.
Ага.
Какой-то кринж пошел. Че, рука отросла, блядь? Ну нехер, блядь, подписывайте демонический пакт и юксы.
Да. Зато у тебя есть сила Eldritch Blast.
Spells, more slots, unlimited power.
Мощнёч, блядь.
I'm grateful, my patron, but I did roll the dice. I just wish I could cast hex more than twice. You'd severely.
Все умерли, это успех? Бля, я могу это записать в цитаты великие, блядь.
Ай, блядь, он может кастовать хекс дважды, блядь.
Герой согласны. Не, обычно люди не согласны с тем, что не умирают.
Пизда, нахуй, блядь. Кастовать пресс-глаз дважды. Эта хуйня просто вычитает 1 до 4 из бросков на атаку, блядь, из паса. На самом деле нормально.
Underestimated the power of a short rest. You know what? Maybe you're right.
Понимаешь, ты восстанавливаешь свою силу на, блядь, коротком отдыхе.
Eldritch blast, eldritch blast. At will spells at my fingertips to cast. Rituals, power, and aberrant voices. The cleric is
Мне надо
happy with
Зантора
my
посмотреть, он там
choices.
вроде шарит, как проходить Балдур. А, согласен был я или нет. Ну там можно загрузиться, в ролевой ты хер загрузишься.
По факту. И вот так вот смеется ГМ, который дал поиграть игроку за Варлока.
So you're gonna play Warlock, huh? The dark-dealing, eldritch-blasting, totally not evil member of the group. Perhaps all the goody-goodies around you are just too good saving all those innocent children, and you would much rather tear the soul from a noble and sell it to Satan than hurl him through hell
Блин,
for all
знаешь,
his friends'
он так говорит. Что-то там зло, блядь.
Могу врубить те субтитры, они примерно делают то же самое.
Да не коряво переводится, убери лучше, они портят вид. Это не эстетично.
Or, you know, Pact of the Archfey. Here's how to play Warlock!
Во.
Before we get started with this thing, we've got a sponsor.
Раньше... блядь.
Бля, $60 в месяц.
Warlock time. At level 1, you get your and Pact Magic. Warlocks are basically one of those really great cross-class classes.
По-братски вроде драконов, блядь. Да никто тебя не драконит на первом ходу.
And voila, you're a warlock. This to me is why the class is so compelling. Perhaps you bind yourself with a magic ring or serve a powerful being that showed up in the campaign. Maybe you go down a dark path or decide to gain power yourself. There's so many ways to become a warlock, and it wins the Jacob Gold Seal of Approval for class with the best backstory. However, giving Cthulhu all your Pokemon cards to cast Eldritch Blast isn't the only way that you can become a warlock. Work with your DM on how you struck the deal with your patron and now have their powers. Remember, warlocks aren't their patrons. They just get powers granted by their patrons. For example, a warlock of Undying is not a lich. They just get lich-like powers. A warlock of the Fiend isn't a devil. They just get devil-like powers, and so on. Anyways, let's go over what powerful...
Понимаешь, Сика?
Да я понял, блядь. Ты дьявол, ты не знаешь, что ты дьявол. Ну, в смысле, ты твой божок, блядь, дьявол.
Да. Сейчас он перечисляет, как я понял, блядь, все архетипы Варлока.
Hexlock and Warlich. The Archfey.
Там что, еще один появился, блядь? Откуда шестой вылез? Там что, книгу новую выпустили?
Да,
and so
еще.
on. Anyways, let's go over what powerful beings you can make pacts with. We've got Phaelock, Heellock, Fiendlock, Gulock, Hexlock, and Warlich. The
А что там внизу написано было?
We've got Phaelock, Heellock, Fiendlock, Gulock, Hexlock, and Warlich.
Undying, блядь, I'm not doing Arcane Stopesting, понимаю.
Warlich. The Archfey. This is so much fun!
Fuck you!
You're a loser.
I know. You want bardic inspiration? Me either.
A powerful fairy-like being from the Feywild. If you want to do...
Ёбаные барды, блядь.
Some research and get in the mood for this one, go watch or read A Midsummer's Night Dream. Your pact could be with Oberon or Titania, maybe even a powerful hag, or Tingle, but any kind of they will give you the abilities to put people to sleep, fuck with their emotions, or disappear in a puff of mist. These warlocks are tricksters and radiate that chaotic good energy. They are the personified middle finger, the celestial.
Okay. So don't worry, guys. I can heal. I'm a celestial warlock.
Yeah, but the power of my oath gave me the ability to heal. So
But
obviously,
I'm the one who can heal.
I can.
Wait, guys.
What?
I'm the cleric here. That's my job. Alchemist who brews
Типичная партия в ДНД.
potions for you every day.
Так Кором такой сидит. Вот я же говорил, долбоёбы, блядь.
It's a one shot.
Your pact is with that of an angel, Kirin, or Coatl. We need more celestials in D&D. You're
Понимаешь, Сик? Кто может тебе подарить пакт
А где драконы, где по земле, или вопрос риторический? Да все на месте. Если ты, конечно, у тебя телефон на месте.
Cleric light and can cast healing spells. I love that you can play a more supportive warlock because of Xanathar's guide. You beautiful, beautiful book. This can also lead to some interesting roleplay moments in the future.
Знал бы Говикс об этой прекрасной книжке раньше.
Да Говикс уже там вовсю ее изучает, блядь.
About what your purpose is to have a pact with a Celestial. Do you have a goal? Did you save the Celestial? Perhaps you're some sort of prophet, but don't fit all the guidelines of a certain god, but a renegade angel granted you some powers. In any case, you get resistance to radiant damage and don't die as easily.
Резистонов Дайн? Чё, типа, ты можешь умереть вообще?
Ну вообще, да, Сика, смотри, когда ты варлок падает в мой хп, он взрывается, восстанавливает себе половину от максимального хп, враги получают там что 4d8 урона излучения, а ты рестлишься. И ты так можешь делать, короче, каждый день. Найс, видишь? Должен был хоть какой-нибудь варлок до 14 левела, правда, блядь.
Can't get past it, dude. She has killed hundreds of thousands of mortals. She personally laid waste to my family, did things that I won't repeat at this table, and she salted her family's fields like 2 or 3 times. She keeps going back.
I don't know, man. I think we could hear her out. She might have a compelling argument.
Jacob, is your patron Zerial? What's on your forehead? Is that her?
No.
Where'd you even get that?
I don't. Praise Asmodeus. No.
What was that?
No, I didn't say anything.
Did you say something? I'm pretty sure I heard.
I said no. That's what I said.
You told them where my family was.
It sounded a lot like Praise Asmodeus.
Why? Where'd you hear that from? I didn't say that.
Pretty sure I heard it from you.
I didn't. No.
Before her.
That's right. We should kill them both.
Yep.
You'll never take me alive. Personally, my favorite, just for the flavor.
Инферналисты ебаные.
Своей семье выпили дьявола. Блядь, ты так поглаживаешься, сука, дьявол. Гениально.
Тифлинги? Не. Ну, можно и тифлинги.
I love devils, you guys.
Ай, бля.
And a character having a pact with Zerial is just, my queen. The Fiend Warlocks are those who make the dastardly deal with the devil or demons and gain dark powers. Perhaps you sold your soul, or maybe you're a tiefling blessed by your ancestor. In any case, you gain fire spells and temporary hit points when you kill a creature.
Блять, каждый класс из меня издевается над бардом.
To any roll once per long rest, resistance to any damage, and hurl through hell, which is exactly as the name says. What I love about this subclass is the flavor aspect. You gain resistance to damage unless you are attacked with silver or magic, which is basically how devils function. I also like to think that the Dark One's blessing is just you siphoning a portion of your victim's soul as they die. The Great Old One.
I can speak to you telepathically.
А, бля, я за этого играл, бля, кстати. Нажми паузу. Знаете, как я использовал свою телепатию? Я чувакам ложные образы давал, они в конце игры такие, блять, а что это за ебаное дерево, блять, с трупами висящими? А ГМ такой, да, блять, это все секрос, он в голову какую-то хуйню.
Вы такой, вот what the fuck, блять.
Смешно.
I can speak to you in your mind.
That's really cool. You know, I can do that too.
What?
Yeah, I'm a Calistar. Mine can go 120 feet. How far can yours go?
Your patron is an incomprehensible Lovecraftian out-of-this-world alien being. There's not gods here, just the connection between you and the unknown. Aptly named Gulaks gain the ability to speak into minds, cast psychic damaging and illusion spells, and the illusion that is Tropic Ward and Thought Shield are good abilities makes me take psychic damage. Compared to nearly every other Warlock ability, I don't understand why the Gulak gets these wimpy piece of shit abilities. Let's talk about Thought Shield first. Here's how this ability works. You can't have your thoughts read by anybody unless you allow it, and you gain resistance to psychic damage, and if a creature deals psychic damage to you, you can make them take the same amount of psychic damage you do. It's resisted, so it's half, so it's not a whole lot. I guess it's kinda cool. for that one entire encounter when you go up against a mind flayer. Very few enemies deal psychic damage in D&D, and while the mechanics of this ability are neat, it's so
На
rare to
самом
ever
деле,
have.
Сика, справедливости ради, психический дэмэдж довольно мало существ становится в этой игре, блядь. Ну, это там самое...
Сейчас Гокс такой скакивает, блядь, ГМ один наносит психический дэмэдж.
Точно.
Это зависит от того, насколько ГМ заносит психический дэмэдж. Варлок Дворф, которому не дали... Представляю, Варлок Дворф, которому не дали выпить, он такой, блядь, я разозлился. Психический дамаг, 1d4, ну 4
Я
урона.
сопротивление!
Оно переносится на того, кто меня разозлил. А кто тебя разозлил? Вот это, сука! Ну, тебе что-то плоховато стало.
That you might as well give Gulak immunity to psychic damage. I mean, it's level 10. Monks get immunity to poison and disease at level 10. Let them have immunity to psychic. Entropic Ward is also dumb. You give disadvantage to someone hitting you, and if they happen to miss, then you get advantage. Nothing else. And if they hit you, your ability is wasted. Bye-bye, fuck you. I would change both abilities like this. Entropic Ward is a state that the Great Old One Warlock can enter. They can no longer hear or see, effectively deafened and blind, but they can read the surface thoughts of one creature within 30 feet of them. They then telegraph their thoughts to nearby allies, and everyone gets advantage on attacking that guy for as long as the Gulak holds the ward. And I would give Thought Shield everything it normally gets, except Gulak now has immunity to psychic damage. That, in my opinion, is some scary weird shit and can make the Warlock feel alive.
Ну смотри, Дворф пьет воду вместо пива. 3 дня, сколько уже дней подряд? 4 дня, по-моему, или 3. Ну я такой, блядь, ну психический урон, я считаю, блядь, неуважение, блядь. Вот и все. Ну, опять
lot more fun to play. The Hexblade.
За это все любят играть. Короче, вот за Варлока играют только ради Hexblade, блядь.
Hey, I killed one.
I got one too. I got one. Oh, he's coming back to life. He's coming back to life. You know what, this Hexblade stuff, you know what, no, he just came back to life right there. You've made a pact with a magical weapon and gain enhancements to fighting and cursing your enemy. Okay, sorry, unpopular opinion here, but I don't really like this one. The abilities are fine, the flavor and the character traits are fine. I just don't think they mash up very well. You're a warlock with a connection to a weapon. You get spells like shield and smites, and your first ability is cursing people. So is your patron a cursed weapon? Because that would make a lot more sense, but you can get charisma to damage. So okay, it's like you use magic to fight, but then you can summon a specter? I don't get it. Maybe I just don't like the weird half-caster, half-fighting person when you can do an Eldritch Knight, which I think accomplishes this way better than a Hexblade. I would love to instead have a Warlock subclass that linked you to a magical item like the ring from that one movie, and gave you special powers based on the item. Maybe you could pick between a blade, a ring, or a staff, or something, and you would unlock more of its power as you leveled up. Kind of like the Totem Barbarians. You would pick different perks based on what you had. I don't know, I just feel like that would be more fun than Curse Sword. Even Travis got bored with it.
Pull the blade back. And throw it.
The Undying.
At the end of your masochistic scream fest, you're now without an eye and a hand. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thanks for adding that to my game.
Jacob, don't you think it's a little weird? Like you're never attacked by undead?
Yeah, and which hand and eye did you get rid of exactly?
Oh, the right hand, the left eye.
Isn't that
I think that it's that.
Yeah, that's a D&D item, isn't it?
What?
You know that I'm a paladin, right?
Do you have those?
I don't know what you're talking about. It's
Because we went
zombies just don't like me very much.
We went through the
There's nothing at all.
Roll initiative.
This is looking like a bad day for Vecna. Okay, this is my second favorite one. Having a pact with a lich or a powerful undead is so cool. You get abilities centered around undying. You get to cast Spare the Dying. You have a permanent sanctuary spell on you against undead. You regain hit points when you cheat death, and overall just slowly becoming undead is so interesting. I like that this one stays true to the warlock idea of you're not a lich, you just get the powers of a lich, making this a really fun and interesting character concept. And if you take Witch Bolt, you have to call it Lich Bolt. Sorry, that's the rules. I don't make up the rules, I just make up the rules. Also, level 1 you get Pack Magic. Warlocks don't get a whole lot of spell slots. Instead, they have a super neat and unique and hard to beat mechanic where all your spells level up and become more powerful as you level up. First level Hex will always be casted at second level once you hit level 3. I love this because it makes you feel like you're growing
Бля, начал
in
говорить
power,
как-то слишком
and you have
быстро. Я
limited
понимаю, что
uses
я
of
не
this
успеваю
power when you
перевести,
use it,
если бы
it's
хотел на
pretty
другие, я вообще
catastrophic.
такой...
Also, warlocks get their spell slots back on a short rest, making them a pretty skirmishy magic class, which is fun. That's just fun.
Короче, он задвигал что-то про этого, про Лича, про то, что повышенный спell слот.
Everything in that. I think it's cool you get back on a short rest and you don't have very many spell slots. It's kind of neat. I think it's kind of neat. At level 2, you get Eldritch Invocations. Eldritch Invocations are basically mini feats that you can use to customize your warlock. Some of them are good, and some of them are pretty bad.
Бля, еще читать на всех языках.
Speaking with animals, not being able to sleep, or casting false life at will. On the other
Самое веселое, что есть у Варлока. Инвокации. 10 тысяч инвокаций.
hand, we have Eldritch Blast upgrades. Okay. Can we talk about Eldritch Blast? I absolutely love Zbashu's video on Eldritch Blast. He makes a compelling story for a warlock getting to cast this powerful cantrip. However, not every warlock is like this. I think Eldritch Blast is a great spell for great old one warlock.
Пойду поем тогда. Не знаю, можешь сам вебку врубать и плясать, пока перерыв небольшой. Так, можешь что посмотреть, в принципе. Я не расстроюсь, если ты без меня посмотришь, поржешь.
С гетбэком.
Давай тогда. Что там дальше-то?
Ну что ж.
Eldritch Blast is a strange thing to have on a Celestial Warlock. I think instead of having one almighty Eldritch Blast, depending on the patron, it should change and adapt to the patron's style. Great Old One would do psychic damage, Fiend is fire and maybe does 2d4, Undying is necrotic and does more damage if the target is damaged. Archfey could do no damage but instead displaces the target similar to Infestation, Hexblade is piercing as it could be a thrown spectral dagger, and Celestial is radiant. I think this would play up more of the flavor towards your character's patron rather than the crackling beam of energy that has very little explanation other than it being otherworldly. Anyways, I think that Eldritch Blast upgrades are cool if you're going for that one-trick pony, but I prefer my warlocks to have some variety. Up to the point where I fully stopped taking the spell just to force myself to be creative with my character. Anyways, there's lots of Eldritch invocations for you to choose from. Some even have prerequisites, which I love. Casting spells at will is such a cool thing for warlocks to get. You've got the wizard over here studying and memorizing spells so that they can cast it using their hard-earned slots, and then the warlock cheated and can cast mage armor as much as they want because I have a cool patron.
Oh, hey, you're the wizard, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I gave away. Hey, I heard you dropped out of college?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Then how are you the wizard?
Oh, no, I'm a warlock now. That's way easier. And far more powerful. Yes.
Жрица богини Эмберли. Здорово, прикольно.
Third level, Pact Boon. Your patron grants you a gift. This gift comes in 3 packages. A little buddy. A book. Thanks, Grandpa Cthulhu. Or a knife that you can summon whenever you damn please.
Titivolus, you can't just give the kid a knife. He's gonna hurt himself.
Я вспомнил, блядь. Там типа этот пакт меча вообще сосет, потому что ты там до, по-моему, до 5-го не можешь, блядь, суммать двуручное оружие, блядь. Поэтому нож, сука. Да, Сик, ты не сможешь суммать, блядь, длинный меч. Будешь суммать, нахуй, ёбаный нож.
Секрос, душечка, что за стрим ты ведешь?
Я?
Какого-то кринжа.
Не знаю, мы смотрим ДНД.
Ты что в этом смотришь?
Не знаю. Про классы всякую херню рассказывают.
Let's see here. 11th level. That's pretty far away from 3. You get Mystic Arcanum. Basically, warlocks can't cast their OG spells above 5. Lame. But with Mystic Arcanum, you can choose a single spell that you can cast once per long.
И внезапно обнаружил,
внезапно
обнаружил, что на мобильном приложении чуваки, которые...
Нажми Каранин паузу, подожди. Тебя там избивают, что это за звуки?
Это поезд едет.
А, бля.
В мобильном приложении чуваки, которых ты замутил, все еще могут пиздеть.
Вот это поворот.
Да, трагедия.
Охуенно.
Кстати, он хуйню спорол сейчас. Я так, типа, для твоей справки, полную хуйню. Тотальную.
Ага, давай.
Не верь ему, он врет, блядь.
А насчет чего ты, блядь?
Насчет двуручных мечей. Да полное говно.
Ну все, понятно. Бля, у тебя там шумит пиздец. Давай, все, 8 слотов.
Spell listing. Oh shit, no, I'm sorry. Oh god, it's a level 20 ability! The one ability that you're rewarded with for staying with the character this long! An ability that is given to only the most powerful of warlocks! You've stuck with your patron! You've gathered all the power you can!
Но все мы знаем, что это перезарядка ёбаных 4 слотов.
Getting all your spell slots back only after a minute! Oh!
А теперь вспоминаем Рогу Сика.
Подожди, минуту? Подожди, стоп, надо минуту потратить, чтобы это восстановить?
Да! Даже, сука, не раунд. Представь, в бою 10 раундов чить.
Ты разорался-то, блядь.
Как тебе надо?
Да, бля, Рога там просто на миссии попадает. Здорово, Фред, как, кстати.
Я не знаю, как тебе так сказать, но да. Способности, они разочаровывают. Это ты еще файтера не смотрел. Я тебе сразу проспойлерю, он просто бьет 4 раза.
Ну это хотя бы что-то, блядь. Въебать 4 раза это не так уж и плохо.
I can get back all of my spells after a minute. Oh my god! I'm so powerful! How did they let that in the game?
Ты умер нахуй, блядь.
Ой, бля.
Ну нахуй умер, блядь. Ай, бля. Представь, как у него епа горит, просто жесточайший. Да, мы знаем, как играть за руку.
Подожди, а что там, покажи рейнджера, там у него рейнджер стандартный или он нестандартного берет? Выше, по-моему.
Блядь, может быть, хелплей рейнджер.
Ну давай рейнджера, Коля. Че еще делать-то, блядь, давай больше.
Ты хочешь прямо разбор всех классов?
Да не, я у тебя посмотрю, который мне нравится.
Да ты заебался, Кросс. У базового рейнджера всего 2 изменения нужно внести в класс, и он сразу играет другими красками.
Да, ну это важно.
This video was sponsored by...
Не надо вот этого дроча, блядь, с рейнджерами, хуинджерами, там, блядь, различными вариациями.
Пикс рекламу нам не платит, но...
Я тебе отвечаю, там все настолько просто.
Вроде да, там только в начале изменений есть, по идее, или не?
Чё, изменения в рейнджере?
Давай, запускай.
Там.
Лесной, блядь, паладин.
Лесной паладин? Нет.
Rangers are notoriously one of the most hard to pin down classes, really. A bit of a struggle a lot of people, including myself, have with the Ranger is... What even is a Ranger? You're kind of this strange mix of rogue, fighter, druid. Your purpose at first can be a little unclear. If we're gonna skip ahead a bit just so we can define the Ranger, your unique ability is tracking and fighting. You're a hunter survivalist. The book goes into further detail describing Rangers as protectors of areas of lands, but there was this whole bit I was gonna do with this video to prove to all of you that the Ranger has a clear defined purpose in a party. But that failed because all the things a Ranger accomplishes are accomplished with other classes. Like, if I say the Ranger is a hunter who can stalk the forests and can penetrate the scales of a dragon with its well-timed strikes.
Там от игрока зависит.
Or the Ranger calls forth a squirrel to speak to it, learning the nearby locations of its enemies to hunt them down. That's a druid. I guess we'll have to accept that the Ranger is in fact an amalgamation of other classes. And that's okay, 5e is full of this stuff. Rogues can be wizards, sorcerers can be clerics, warlocks can be fighters, and so on. It's how you roleplay this chunk.
Ты прям лагает, что ли? Что это за...
Aragorn is the...
Не, все нормально.
Classic example of what a ranger is. A leader who knows the terrain, can track down enemies and friends, move silently through forests and crowds, and can fight like a mother. Sure, you could play a rogue like that, just to give the middle finger to the ranger, but that's not what the rogue was created, built, or written to be. So, to make a long tangent short, Rangers are really weird, but if you enjoy playing it, then why should anyone try to stop you? Anyways! Oh, wait, before we get even further, I can already hear the thousands of comments. Revised Ranger change. What about the Unearthed Arcana Ranger? Revised Ranger change. Do you remember the Revised Ranger?
Понимаешь, Сика, ты же играл за Revised Ranger.
Revised. Конечно, играл за Revised.
Yes, there's a Revised Ranger in Unearthed Arcana. It came out in 2016, and then this little book came out in 2017, adding new subclasses to the Ranger that honestly make the Ranger so much cooler and a lot more interesting and less complicated than the Revised or even the original. So, that's all I'm gonna say about Revised Ranger. Alright, now let's jump into what you can do with this class. Level 1, favorite enemy and natural explorer. Favored enemy, you pick a type of enemy. Aberrations, beasts, celestials, constructs, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, giants, monstrosities, oozes, plants, or undead. Alternatively, you can select 2 races of humanoid, such as gnolls or orcs, as favored enemies. The book has more detailed descriptions of these enemies, but I'll go ahead and do some one-word descriptions. Aliens, animals, Jesus, robots, how the fuck do you not know what these are? Fairies, Satan, big boys, regular boys, literally everything else, jello, flowers, and zombies. With this enemy, you gain...
Короче, как собрать всех покемонов на этом рейнджере? Who is that?
Advantage while tracking them, and you learn a language they speak. That's kind of it. You've basically been studying groups or types of creatures so that you can understand them and hunt them. It kind of sucks at level 1. Natural Explorer. You pick a terrain, and you can traverse said terrains with ease. You get abilities like, difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. And as a ranger, you know terrain and can lead your party through it with ease.
Кросс, дорогой мой, ты мое предложение хотя бы обдумал?
Я думаю.
Как думается?
Да не особо, бля.
Didn't come all this way, Kevin, for you to be a little bitch.
Ну ты особый, конечно.
Keep up the travel pace. You gotta keep it up at a 4.5 miles an hour. This is my favorite terrain. I hate you, Steve.
Can't be lost.
Представляешь себе такой ролеплейный момент, блядь, это будет уже 5 часов, нахуй.
Ну а что ты хочешь? Че вы купили этого следопыта, чтобы это болото пройти, бля, белорусское? Просто так, что ли?
Except by magical means. You remain alert to danger, you find lots of food. While tracking other creatures, you also learn their exact numbers, their sizes, and how long ago they passed through the area. And your group can remain stealthy by your own ability to keep them from walking into stupid areas.
Don't step there! Don't step there! Okay, okay. Don't step there! Don't step there!
Which is really great! This ability allows the ranger to keep the party moving while also staying stealthy and avoiding the hardships of survival in the wilderness. Except it sucks when you decide to play a desert ranger and the entire campaign is in grasslands or forests! Make sure before you choose your favorite enemy
Be the stealth! Yeah.
And terrain that it's going to fit the game the DM has prepared. I've seen too many rangers have no fun playing because their enemy is aberrations and their terrain is forests, and the DM's like, you know what, the next 20 games are going to take place in the 9L!
Типа, ты выбираешь, а ГМ, ну, ты в песках мастер, тебя отправляют на луга, блядь, у тебя не все бусты исчезают. Или наоборот, ГМ говорит, ну да, мы в лугах будем, а потом каким-то хером вы, блядь, в снегах бегаете, и игрок такой, ну ГМ, ты уёбок. Типа такое.
Level 2, Fighting Style and Spellcasting. As a ranger, you get the ability to fight and cast spells. Rangers get dope spells as well, like Goodberry, to keep everyone fed, and also make the foraging ability from your Natural Explorer completely useless. Or Conjure Barrage, Conjure Volley, Cordon of Arrows, and Snaring Strike, which are all...
Опять залагало? О, блядь, чувак. Ранин, вернись, блядь.
Справедливости ради, у рейнджера довольно хорошие эти, блядь, спылы, но в целом класс сосет.
Enemy. Personally, the ranger shines in their spells. They don't even really act as spells. I almost always flavor ranger spells as innate abilities or traps they build to hunt. They only act as spells in game to fit its mold and system, and also because they're slightly magical. You can get lightning arrows. This is the coolest thing. I seriously really like the ranger spells, and they're really awesome, and you should take a look at all of them because I don't want to have to explain every single one in this video. 3rd level, ranger archetypes and primeval awareness. It's 3rd level. That means you get to pick your archetype. Just forget these 2 that come in the player's handbook. They're super lame, and the ones written in Xanathar's guide are the best. Basically, this one makes you better at fighting, and this one gives you an animal buddy that sucks and will die every time after 5th level. But in Xanathar's guide, you get Monster Hunter! Ever wanted to be fucking Geralt in D&D? Well, now you can! You get cool spells for hunting, and you can learn if a monster has any damage immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities, and what they are. With no roll! Granted, it's got charges, but holy shit! Also at 3rd level, you can deal with extra 1d6 damage to just whoever you want. It specifies only one attack per turn, but still! Later levels you can escape grapples, stop people from teleporting,
I hate portals.
and counterattack. We ain't done yet. We've also got Gloomstalker. Gloomstalker is more of the rogue subclass for the Ranger, where you can hide, disguise, and kill guys. You get dark vision and the ability to go invisible while in the dark. You also get to add your wisdom to your initiative, and on your first turn in initiative, you get an extra +10 to movement and 1d8 damage. Later levels
Подожди,
you can
они же...
dodge.
А если с ревайздом что, у тебя, блин, еще к инициативе мудрость идет, бля, и это ты вообще почти всегда первый ходишь, бля.
Ну, фишка в том, что у Ревайза там свои, по-моему, архетипы. Вот так вот, Сика.
Really well. Finally, Horizon Walker.
Вот это самое охуенное, по идее, это, блядь, следопыт, потому что он умеет телепортироваться.
You have a niche form of Ranger here. You're like a planar guardian that can find portals and kill those who are not native to your
Душечка моя. Ревайзнутый следопыт имеет другую прогрессию уровней. У него по-другому распределены способности по уровням. Поэтому архетипы, которые намазываются на базового следопыта, на него не намазываются.
Понятно, понятно.
Теперь ты понимаешь, почему анальная схема вот эта вот, блядь, существует со следопытом?
Ага, ты куда в
Потому
поезде?
что,
А куда ты
блядь,
в поезде едешь-то, блин?
Домой.
Понятно.
Marshall's character is Neelix. He's a Vulcan Horizon Walker, and he fits perfectly into my game since the story is all about devils invading the material plane via portals. Anyways, Horizon Walkers can fucking teleport. The ability to locate portals, deal extra damage to whoever the heck you want, and you can pop in and out of the ethereal plane. And when you attack, you can teleport up to 10 feet away. Seriously, Xanathar's Guide Main Ranger, so awesome. Also at 3rd level, you get Primeval Awareness. You can use your action to expend 1 Ranger spell slot to focus your awareness on the region around you. For 1 minute per level of the spell slot you expend, you can sense whether following types of creatures are present within 1 mile of you, or within up to 6 miles if you're in your favorite terrain. Aberrations, Celestials, Dragons, Elementals, Fey, Fiends, and Undead. This feature doesn't reveal the creature's location or number. However, it would be hilarious if it did.
I have concluded that there are 15,004,322 spiders in the 5-mile range.
Что за шутки, блядь? За 200, блядь.
We're gonna skip forward a little bit, since throughout these level ups you're mostly getting extra attack and more spells. At 6th level, however, you gain another favorite enemy and another favorite terrain. And at 8th level, you get Landstride. Simply stated, when you walk through a pokey bush, you don't get hit by the pokies or slow down. 10th level is hide in plain sight. Basically, you take mud and grass and foliage and cover yourself with it, and boom, you get +10 to stealth. 14th level, you finally catch up to the rogue and can hide as a bonus action. You also get another favorite enemy.
Сука, когда рога может со 2-го левела, блядь, делать 3 экшена, нахуй, блядь. Ёбаный врёт это, блядь. Следопыта, блядь. Просто сакшен какой-то, нахуй, не следопыт.
Terrain. 18th level is Feral Senses. You can attack.
А он же, по-моему, на 8-м это может, блядь, на каком?
Незримо. Незримо вижен, по-моему, у Роги так и на 10-м, блядь.
Какого хуя?
На 14-м левеле.
Нормально.
Ну, блядь, на 18-м левеле, между прочим, на дроге невозможно получить преимущество, блядь. Поэтому следопыт что делает, Сика?
Сосет, блядь.
Правильно.
18th level is a bit high for it. I hold out hope for you, Ranger. Please. Level 20. Can you redeem this poor class? Can you make it awesome, as it's supposed to be? Foe Slayer. You can add your wisdom modifier to the attack roll or damage of an attack you make against one of your favorite enemies.
I'm a 20th level ranger. I can destroy you. You don't stand a chance against me.
Wow, that hurt more than normal.
Ah!
Просто просто модификатор мудрости, блядь.
Да, в принципе, модификатор мудрости. И такой файтер 20-го левела. Ну, я могу ёбнуть тебя от 4 до 8 раз. Раунд.
А я могу просто любой экшен, блядь, сделать успешным.
Да, потом починить часочек и сделать еще раз любой экшен успешным.
Мудро, бодро, блядь.
Player's gonna play a ranger, you're gonna need to map out all that terrain and stuff so that they know what they're going. Unfortunately, there's not really any tools to do that online. Oh wait, except there's World Anvil. World Anvil is an in-browser...
Ебать, где рекламу вставил? Он, конечно, рекламирует террейны делать.
Заплатишь $60, блядь.
Web tool that count today. There's a link in the comments and description below. Okay, yeah, I think that's the end of the video. Hey y'all, so we've been fighting undead, right? Well, since our ardent and unfortunate end to that zombie, I was wondering if I could sing y'all a song. The Ranger? Yeah, but I took my background in entertainer. Almost heaven, the forest and fauna, Blue Dragon Mountains, DC 12 Check River. Life is old here, older than our bard named Bill. Underneath the mountains is a lich who we gotta kill. Hunter's mark, survival check.
Да это не чернокнижник, так что.
Goodberry plus 10 to stealth. Extra damage. Hunter's mark. All my arrows pelt inside him. I'll never be within 30 feet of the enemy. Ranger companion, dark elf panther mix. You know you don't have to be
это real life, бля.
version of Dritz.
Свежий воздух. Да не, это я в чате отвечаю по поводу, что как их рылевки проходят. Ну пока психиатрическая лечебница за вами не приехала.
Goodberry plus 10 to stealth. Extra damage. Hunter's mark. I hear you whine and complain about the Ranger. Doesn't make sense for a fighter druid to exist. But this is D&D and you can make up whatever the hell you want in this game. In this game, Rangers are super rad. You're kinda like the party dad. Feed your friends. Track the bad guys. Track the fuck, kill the lich. Rangers are rad. Yeehaw.
Понимаешь, Сикер, что рейдер сосет.
Он сказал, что он ред. Я не понимаю, что это значит, что это за устойчивая фраза Рейнджер ред, блядь. У него жопа красная, блядь, вечно горящая, что ли?
Вечно сосущая, видимо, блядь.
Означает radical, то есть что-то клевое.
Угу. Понял.
Так, блядь.
Познавательные стримы, блядь, что охуенно.
Я хуй знаю, тут уже, блядь, какие смешные видосики. Есть серия про, блядь, Fireball. Да ну нахрен, как бы я уже пересмотрел ее несколько раз. Ой, бой.
много нового узнали, блин. Ну, обычно, когда видос смотришь, что-то новое узнаешь. На самом деле, там вся информацию он просто перелопатил из книги.
Ну да.
Знаешь, зачем читать книги? Можно, бля, зайти на YouTube, чувак их все перерасскажет.
Зачем смотреть видосы, блядь, когда ты можешь нахуй просто прочитать книгу внимательно, один раз?
Так за тебя могут это сделать и, короче, все.
Да. А потом у них паладины, блядь, фаерболы отбивают харизмой.
Что, блядь?
Дожили. Зачем книжки-то читать, ёбаный насос?
А как паладины харизмой отбивают фаерболы, блядь?
А никак, блядь, просто один долбоёб не прочитал про спасброски. И такой смотрит и думает, нихуя себе, у паладина спасбросок харизмы. То есть он, блядь, своей сияющей улыбкой отражает фаербол, блядь, или что?
А вообще, где, блядь, спасброски харизмы используются, блядь, здесь?
Они используются против нежити, Секрос. И заклинаний, связанных со школой некромантии.
А нахера это тогда чернокнижнику?
Ну, чтоб пизды от своих не огрести, например.
Какая-то херовая штука получилась, блядь. Сбросок харизмы, блядь. Как это работает? Ты наорал на своих, они тебя испугались, что ли, или что?
Блядь, Секрос, ты знаешь, в чем разница между проверкой и спасброском? Ты заебал уже.
Ну, вот спасбросок харизмы мне непонятен.
Вот смотри, проверка харизмы — это наорать на своих, чтобы они испугались. Возможно, это проверка харизмы с запугиванием. Я даже так скажу. А спасбросок харизмы — это когда на тебя наорал волшебный дед, блядь, и у тебя как бы должны хп уменьшиться, но ты ему говоришь, пошел нахуй, волшебный дед, и у тебя не уменьшаются хп.
Да, там заклинаний я не так много видел на эту херню. Там все в мудрость обычно.
Есть способности у различных монстров, которые тоже завязаны на спасбросок харизмы. И они, угадай, что делают, тоже понижают максимум хп. Ну, это в основном нежить всякая, там, типа, блядь, вампиров, нахуй, и там восставших высокого уровня, прочего говна. Такие неприятные типы.
Понимаю.
Вот чернокнижник, он что делает? Он, блядь,
кроме того, что сосет, что он еще делает?
Он изучает запретные тайные знания. Они где иногда бывают? Вот запрятаны так хорошо. Во всяких местах с волшебными дедами, блядь. А обычно еще и не мертвыми, нахуй. Так что, в принципе, спасбросок харизмы для него не самое лишнее. Ну вот, допустим, залезает там чернокнижник ваш в логово лича, блядь, чтобы спиздить у него личевские знания. На чернокнижника наорал волшебный дед, и хуяк, до свидания, чернокнижник, блядь. Потому что почему? У него 8-й хитдайс, блядь, и у него и так здоровья нету. Вот так вот. А так, чернокнижник взял харизму и, блядь, своей сверкнул, и до свидания.
А что это выглядит? Он наорал на него, он наорал в ответ, и он у них это... Типа так? Как это...
Блядь, да как угодно. Секрос, харизма же, это же не только, блядь, орать на людей. Это еще и сила твоего характера, блядь, твоей личности. Как-то вот так вот это еще можно обыграть.
Что, бровями просто дернул и все, блядь? Окей, блядь. Оставим это на брови, блядь.
На бровях ты домой придешь, потому что не владеешь, блядь, спасбросками Конституции.
Можно посмотреть видео.
Мне нужно объяснять, что значит прийти домой на бровях?
Ну давай, я не знаю.
Пухим в зюзю, блядь.
А, окей, понятно, все.
Ну типа падаешь все время, да? Так что ходишь бровями.
Что такое don't fudge your dice rolls?
Не проебывай свои броски, короче. Ну фадж это что-то проебать, там, блядь, совершить ошибку с высокой степенью горя. Ладно, ветер поднимается, короче. И я скоро до компа доберусь, так что...
Давай.
Давайте там, не грустите.
Давай. Так, а какое у него самое популярное видео?
Философский вопрос, ну, наверное...
Ну там же нет, там можно ж ввести, вверху там есть, типа, самое популярное, типа, порядочь по самым популярным, вот справа. Справа, 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 еще правее.
Блядь, справа.
Да справа,
тут.
не, внизу, вверху.
А, вот упорядочить. Так, самый популярный.
Что, последняя?
Так. Чё? Самый популярный вот.
Как
так,
быть хорошим геймом, первое самое. Блять, там
мне кажется.
Мы это разве не смотрели?
Ну, это, видимо, этот трехлетний давности. Текст. Но самое хайповое у него было вот это вот про сумку с исчезновением. Use spell. Кстати, смотрел тоже забавную вещь. О, можно создать это... Как создать...
О, вот это вруби, вот это вруби. Это будет смешно.
3 минуты.
The mind flayer reels back, and its tentacles curl. You begin to feel your mind
тут, короче,
become
пиздец.
invaded.
Я вспомнил.
Roll an intelligence saving throw. 18. You succeed and take 11 psychic damage. I take 5. Wait, why? That was already halved. I'm half Kalashtar. I have resistance to psychic damage. Right. What are you playing again? Half Azamar, half Kalashtar, Blood Hunter, Artificer, Wizard with the Haunted One background and the Hollow One trait from Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. Now I understand Adventurers League. Alright, so, it's your turn. What are you doing? I'm going to take my bag of holding and turn it inside out, unveiling all of the 50 gold coins that I've casted Glyph of Warding on for the past 50 days. Right, and Glyph of Warding holds a spell on an item, so that means each one of them activates. What? They've all been glyphed with Catapult. The Mind Flayer needs to make 50 DC 15 Dexterity saving throws or take 150 damage.
Так, у меня в сумке были зачарованные монеты, блядь, на 2 до 12 урона каждая. 5 до 12, 50 до 12, блядь. А вот это потрясающее лицо сейчас. Так, я знаю, как харизма работает, дома сидишь за компом, родители приходят целый день, сидишь, выключая уже, а ты им кричишь, я вернул полчаса назад, а тебе в ответку не ори на мать. Ну, типа, да, вот так работает.
Он такой...
Why? Look, it's just my personality. I'm a half Kalashtar, half Azamar, and I am haunted by my own very being. I don't run from evil because of that haunting, but also I hate divine beings because all the gods sent me down after killing numerous mortals. I was basically a god before this, but that doesn't really matter all that much. I had divine power, so I hate all of them for locking me into this mortal coil.
Блин, там еще это, кстати, классное, что ж такое играть в игру верхнюю. Там где Вай написано. Типа, если мастер вас на рельс посадил.
Так, это... Где Вай-то я не вижу.
Да вверху третье видео. Да. Это потом, давай это досмотрим потом, да.
A lot of doubt in my mind, which is why the only option I had for that mind flare was to unveil this gold coin with a wooden catapult. I had no other choice. How many of those G Fuels have you drank? 4. Alright, so the Mind Flayer is shredded to bits by a bunch of gold pieces, but now that he's dead, all of his prisoners are behind him. What are you going to do? Wait, they may be thralls. The Mind Flayer could have infected them with tadpoles. We should maybe keep them there. But they are innocent. They didn't ask for this. We gotta help them. What do you think, Deathblood Moon, the 14th of the Silvery Moon Platoon and 12th in line for the Dunedain and the House of Gondor? Gendor and...
Я вообще не понял, что ты сказал на самом деле, блядь?
Ну, конечно, какой-то пиздос.
I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You have so much character over there. Yes, but I'll always help those in need. But I feel no compassion for the dead. They're the lucky ones. But I'll help victims, but evil runs from me just because of how scary I am. Unfortunately for you all, I am too edgy. You know, it sounds like you made your character after you had
ёбаный в рот этого Эджи.
Way too many ideas and tried to smash all these traits together. You know, just because it's complicated doesn't mean it's good. Sometimes simplicity
can be just as fun. What? How dare you marginalize my creativity? I put so much detail into this character, so therefore they are good. I did this to outshine you all. I'm better. Fine, then what do? I don't know. Kill them, but then they would be victims. But if they stay locked up, then they won't fear me. Infusions! Return to 1 hit point after rolling an 18! Blood maledicts! Can I just help the people? Yeah.
Can I just help the people, блядь? Я придумал супер персонажа, полудемон, полуэтот, блядь. Я не мог существовать. Критическая ошибка, я удаляю все из реальности.
Alright, are you guys ready to begin?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So we open up today's game in a tavern. You notice that the tavern as a whole is fairly quiet right now. There is a bartender.
I'll go over to the bartender and ask him for a drink.
Perfect, and as you guys drink, you begin to head to the king's castle, which, the castle in town. Just going to talk to him about what's going on in the nearby land.
We didn't say we were gonna do that.
And as you knock on the doors, the gates of the castle, the guards come out and recognize you actually.
Я пойду с барменом. Уверен, он типичный, бля, пойду с барменом перетеру. Хорошо, вы выпили, поговорили с барменом, и вы уже движетесь к воротам. Погоди! Я такого не заявлял. Куда мы двигаемся?
Home to speak to the king, all of you by letter. You get let in, and the king is there waiting for you in the courtyard.
Did we have like letters on us? Like
Yes.
we did?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Yes, you all have letters on you, and the king recognizes you as you approach and holds his arms out in awe of the fact that you have come, and desires.
Сика, ты должен как-нибудь повторить этот великий мов.
Не, я так не делаю.
An audience with you to speak of Felron's terrible evil that has been plaguing the land.
Но это надо специально, блин.
Can we tell him no?
As you go to say no, you say yes instead.
Да я лайк поставлю, скинь мне видосик, я поставлю лайк. Кэп, спаси. Ну, типа, говорит, типа, вы согласитесь нам помочь? Он такой, не. Ну, хорошо, вместо того, чтобы сказать нет, вы говорите да. Бля, мне... А почему? Потому что ГМ вас на рельс поставил. Как это они могут отказать? Не, все не по сюжету пойдет.
Тебе кажется, ты должен это сделать.
Бля, мне не крутится, ладно, блядь. Черт с ним.
Ой. Ну что, продолжаем?
Продолжай.
I don't want to be, throwing out any kind of accusations or anything, but it seems like just a little bit. It kind of feels just a little bit like a railroad.
Oh, crap! Of course. I'm sorry, guys. Where would you like to go?
It's fine. I think maybe we wanted to make our way over to the bathhouse because there's some character backstory stuff there, and there's rumors that we could learn. So I think we should head there and do some sneaking around.
All right, awesome. Yeah, you guys head towards the public bathhouse, and you know it seems as you enter this a bit of a slow day today. All of the stalls are empty, but the bathhouse is open. So
I'm gonna head over towards one of like the pools and get ourselves in and like prepare to blend in once people start making their way inside.
Awesome. You make your way over to one of the stalls and begin to settle down into it. And as
Бля,
you
они быстро говорить научились, сука.
the king, and he begins to tell you of the troubles in
Бля, мы пошли в бордель, и там король сидит, говорит, у нас тут проблемы. Здорово, Crazy Bear Сибирия.
He rose out of the water.
He rose out of the water?
Yes.
Он из воды поднялся просто, бля. У меня для вас задание.
For the neighboring cities and countries.
In the bath?
Yes.
In the bath, he came out of the water. He's just doing this. He's out of the bath. He's just.
The paper was laminated.
Just whatever. Let's go. All right, fine. We'll make our way to the forest. We'll go outside of town. We'll walk towards the forest and go do the quest.
Perfect, yes. So as you guys leave the bathhouse, you head back towards the king's castle, as he has some information he is getting.
Why are we
Пробел! Типа, ну ладно, пошли в лес квест выполнять. Не-не-не, вы идете вначале в замок, бля. Вы пришли в замок, и вам рассказывают еще одну дополнительную информацию касательно вашего задания. Вот это рельсы, блядь.
Did we ever say? Why are we going there? What? Why are we going back to the castle?
The king needs to show you the route. It's not on the maps.
Why? He can show us the route then. Which way are we supposed to go? Oh, kingly lord who appears in the middle of bathhouses with laminated paper. Sorry.
You're supposed to use the railroad. The route. It's a railroad. Like a train. It'll get you there faster, the king says.
Hey you! Are you...
Бля. Что, Сика?
Сейчас не знаю, что еще можно.
Можно челленджи.
А что значит, подожди, что значит играть ДНД, как в Red Dead Redemption, блин?
Ну, это, наверное, что-то там мега забавно. Там просто есть еще играть как в Skyrim. Тоже забавно довольно. То так, там, чувак страдается самой ебаной хуйтой, потому что...
Ну, покажи, ладно, покажи Red Dead Redemption. Покажи Red Dead Redemption.
Thanks for letting me join your guys' game. Yeah, no problem. And just to let you know, our DM really likes to get into the game. Oh, no worries. It's also a pretty realistic game, so keep that in mind. Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. Oh, I see that you,
Alright, so last we left off, we're on the run from the Pinkertons.
Like, the American government?
That's what I said, ain't it?
Oh, we're playing Deadlands. I thought we were playing D&D.
We are.
Huh?
Don't you know that D&D is the only...
Бля, мы в ДНД играем? Не, мы играем мы играем какую-то реалистичную хуйню.
Помнишь Deadlands, который предлагал Вирш?
Да, что-то помню, бля. Это которое там настольное это было?
Да.
Играть как в Skyrim, я, похоже, понял. Ну, в Skyrim... Бля, да вон там следующее, кстати, видео про Skyrim.
Да, там чувак делает очень ебаные вещи, блядь.
Да.
Only role-playing game to exist. We left off with everyone hunting. And while you're hunting, a new fellow joins your crew.
Howdy. Last session we saw a moose and it was heading north. I wanted to continue tracking that. Can I roll survival?
Sure.
18.
You walk and then you find a pile of moose dung.
Okay, he's been here recently. Can I roll perception?
Sure.
22.
You see a trail of tracks that head further into the woods.
Okay, I will follow them.
You walk for a couple of minutes, but you lose them.
Oh, I'll pull out some bait and then we'll... So, are we doing this to help a nearby town or something? Is there like a moose shortage? Oh, no. This is just how we forage for rations.
Мы так еду, да? У нас квест какой-то, не, мы просто пытаемся выжить. Чё у нас за задание, блядь? Как бы не сдохнуть от голода.
Now that the hunting is done, you all lay down for some rest. What do you do the next morning?
Why don't we go rob that bank we heard about? Oh, good idea. Yes, finally.
Okay, you all head out on your horses. Jacob, your horse has not been brushed recently. It is currently missing 10 hit points.
Okay.
Also, you stubbed your toe earlier, so you are also missing 5 hit points.
Okay. Can I craft a health tonic?
Sure, here, have this G Fuel. It'll make it more realistic.
Thanks. Ah, crap. I left my guns back at camp.
Oh, don't worry. Those magically reappear on your horse.
Yes.
So, as you all ride out, what do you talk about for the next 2 hours?
Oh, probably how strange the life of an outlaw really is. You know, we're on the run for the rest of our lives trying to make them better for ourselves, but really, what's the true cost in the end?
Yep. Keep going.
Do you want us to talk for 2 hours, like in real life?
I remember when you were 19.
Вержун такой, запишите меня на игру, где мы 2 часа хуйне будем говорить. Вержун, где записаться, где эта штука, бля? Дайте мне, блядь, побольше. Где он, блядь, когда он нужен сейчас? Нужно это виду... А, блядь...
Да он это отсыхает от бухания.
Да он, блядь, до дома не дошел, блядь. Наелся, блядь, ползет.
Ну да.
Years old and you started riding with us. Oh, how times have changed since then. Yep. I remember those days back when my strength score was better because I was younger and didn't have lumbago. Oh, I remember the time we caught that fish up in the lake. That was one of the best experiences. All right. You make it to the town of Valentine in the state of New Hanover.
New Hanover? I thought this was the U.S.
It is.
That's not a real state.
Are you incapable of bending your imagination just a little bit? It is a game.
Фарик на лицо натянул, блядь. Нормально, блядь, свободная страна.
Can you describe to me exactly where you hit your horse? Otherwise, everybody's gonna think something's going on. They're gonna be suspicious of you. That is, unless you're wearing your mask. Now, your mask is gonna be helpful unless there's any lawmen around. Nobody else will recognize who you are. The lawmen will automatically recognize exactly who you are. All right. You all enter the bank, stealthily.
I'll grab the teller and point my gun at him, telling everybody it's a holdup.
He yells, "Oh God, oh no, please don't hurt me. I'll open the vault for you."
I'll stay by the door and keep lookout. Whoa, this is actually really cool. Can I go in the vault?
He opens the door to reveal ingots upon ingots of gold.
I stuff my pockets with the ingots, and then I run out the back door.
The door's locked.
Okay, then let's pick it.
It's impossible to pick.
Okay, then let's blow it up with some dynamite.
Doesn't work. The door's too strong.
Well, tell the teller to do it.
He doesn't have the keys.
How does he not have the keys? He's the bank teller.
Sorry, the only way out is through the front door.
But that's stupid. Why would we...
It's the only way.
What about the windows?
There's no windows.
None. Fine, we go out the front door.
All right. As you head out the front door, a man runs down the road towards a lot.
Ну мы типа его опять на рельсы поставили. Ну мы пошли через заднюю дверь. Нет, задняя дверь не открывается. Я ее взламываю. Невозможно взломать. Мы ее взрываем. Она слишком крепкая. Ну может не пойдем через главный проход? Главный проход единственный выход. Можно, блин, через окно? Окон нет в этом банке. Бля.
Идеально.
There's no window! 20 lawmen run down the road straight towards you. We gotta run! And they're all on horses.
Can we go to our horses?
And they all know who you are.
But we're wearing masks!
They know you're
life story. Они знают, кто вы такие, даже не знают, что вы маски носите.
I'll try to shoot one of them! I crit?
You fire every chamber in your gun and kill every single lawman.
Yes!
Oh. That was easy.
But now you got a $300 bounty.
But who is enacting that? We killed the entire law.
Well, no need to worry about that. You all gained $2,000 from robbing the bank.
Wow.
Nice.
Cool. That's pretty great.
Now, as you all ride back to camp, tell me exactly the direction that you take. And also, you need to remind me what you're going to eat throughout the day and what you're going to hunt, because then we're going to have to adjust your HP and AC accordingly. And don't think we ain't going through this quick. All 2 hours need to be roleplayed through as well. We ain't skipping anything in this game.
Я не успел уловить смысл сика.
Так, а теперь вы мне расскажете, как вы едете на лошади, что вы едите, как вы идете, как вы ухаживаете за лошадьми на протяжении 2 часов. Все будем отыгрывать, блядь, без остановки, блядь, без каких-то перерывов. Мне понравилось, 20 выкинул. А, ну ты всех убил, блядь.
Не, ну это я понял, блядь, а вот последняя часть, когда он спамить начал.
Ну еще, ну в конце он рассказывает, блин, сколько рационов, как пересчитать вашу броню. Что еще там, блядь? Как у вас состояние будет, и все мы это отыграем, каждый пунктик, каждую циферку, как вы вонзаете свои зубки в ветчину, блядь.
Сука.
Так. Давай, вот, Skyrim.
Ну, привет.
Ой,
Чё, опять всякие гадости смотрите?
People, который думал, что ДНД это Skyrim, понимаю. Ну что, кто думает, что ДНД это Skyrim?
Так, скажи, вон год тебя, бля.
As you all enter the city, the tavern ahead of you is aglow with a warm orange candlelight coming from inside. To your right is a blacksmith finishing up the rest of his day's work, hammering away at an anvil. I'm going to ask how this day fares, this blacksmith, and if he needs any help.
No need to worry yourself. This is the last
Skyrim это одна
of
сплошная
for
жесть.
the army.
Че?
Не, это я в чате отвечаю. Буду говорить, я отвечаю на вопрос в чате. Нажимай.
Че, ты лагаешь?
Лагаю? Блядь.
No worries here. We're just
Сильно лагаю?
Ну так, будто захлебываешь.
Ну ладно, окей, понял.
travelers. So, what's the news in Grey Walk?
Well, to be perfectly... Alright. Well, to be perfectly...
What?
Alright. Well, to be perfectly...
While they're in conversation, I'm gonna sneak behind the blacksmith. Alright, roll stealth. 16. Alright, so you stealth behind the blacksmith, and the rest of the party, you guys can just see the rogue moving around behind the blacksmith. I'm gonna pickpocket the blacksmith and take all of the weapons he's been making. Okay, well, the weapons aren't on him, they're next to him. He just doesn't shove them into a black hole into his pocket. Oh, then I'll take all of those, and all the gold that he has on him. Roll sleight of hand. 12. Okay, you managed to grab all 5 swords that he's just crafted, but not his gold. Well, how much did he have on him? You don't know. You can't see into his pockets. Alright, I'll walk back around and talk to him. You're just carrying the 5 swords you just stole from him? Nah. I'll put them all behind my back. Okay, so you walk around to the blacksmith with 5 swords behind your back, and he looks at you and says,
Oh, I didn't see you there.
Yeah. Hey, wanna buy 5 swords? He looks down.
Where'd my swords go?
Doesn't matter. I've got 5 for you right here.
Блять, спиздил 5 мечей, блять, потом за жопой стоит такой, бля, у меня мечи пропали. Типа, не хочешь мечи купить? У меня 5 штук есть, блять. Ай, бля.
He just made them. Fine. I give them back. The blacksmith tells you all to shove off. Great, thanks, rogue. I was trying to find out where this coat was hiding. Well, it's alright. Let's just try our first lead at the tavern. You all make your way into the tavern. On the inside, it's warm and bustling with people drinking and eating. I try to look first.
Блядь, это у меня лагает, типа, задержка? У тебя без задержки идет?
Относительно чего?
Я бы пошутил, да, это будет жестоко.
Ну ладно, давай еще раз пробел.
Secret hatch into the cellar. Roll perception. 19. In the back of the tavern, between a couple of chairs on the floor, is a trap door. There's people all around, though, so if you want to try to open it, you're gonna have to find some way to distract that crouch.
I crouch.
You're just crouching. Can I roll stealth? People can still see you. I'll drink an invisibility potion. And for this, you want to drink it? Okay, fine. You drink it. You're invisible now. Can anyone see me? No, I suppose no one can see you. I open the latch and head down. You make your way down into the cellar. The chatter of the tavern gets quieter and quieter. Once you reach the bottom, you see a tunnel before you. It smells of mildew. And ahead, about 30 feet, you can hear the hushed conversation between two individuals who don't see you. I shoot an arrow at that guy. Roll attack? 22. If that hits, it's a crit. I'm an assassin. Hell said this. It hits. 43 damage. You launch an arrow into this guy's neck, and he falls over, bleeding and screaming and gurgling as he slowly dies mid-conversation. Yeesh, thought he'd just fall to the ground. What, do you think he just ragdoll? Well, his friend begins yelling,
нельзя сразу воровать так?
panicking.
Да.
Чё?
В Скайриме, может, и нельзя, но там много чего другого можно, блядь. Смешного.
Looks in the direction the arrow came, which is down the hallway directly at you. You're not invisible anymore. You shot an arrow. And he yells at you, why? Why would you do this? This is not how it normally goes. Is he not like a hostile? They were talking. Alright.
И чё, типа, у них что, враждебно уже? Он там пытается поговорить. Ведро надел на голову НПСом и воруй.
You killed him! I thought there was like a cult down here. What? I mean, I suppose there is, but there are no jobs around because of the war. This is the only one I can take, and I need the money to feed my family. I'm just the cook. I don't do anything else. So you are a bad guy. If that makes me a bad guy, then so be it. So, like, I wouldn't get a bounty if I shoot this guy? No. But you'll have to live with the fact that you killed a person who was maybe innocent and wrapped up into this mess and is just trying to make their way in the world for them and their family. Shoot him. Alright, quest completed. Stealth archery wins again. Now let's go back to the Jarl. I'm sure we'll get like a house or something for this.
Другие игроки сидели, нихуя не делали.
Oh, yes. Ага. Такс. Такс. How to destroy кого-то.
Да, вот продать них, кто воровал, обратно нельзя, только другим продавцам. Это уже мелочи.
Так. Можно, наверное, посмотреть каждый злой ваншот.
Ну давай, давай.
Там был какой-то дисклеймер.
Да там какая-то у него херня с видосом случилась. Компания за злодеев.
Так,
Man, I am bored.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, we've played basically every character and module there is to play in 5th edition. What are we gonna do?
I have a brilliant idea.
Jacob, there just isn't anything left to do.
Wait. I want to hear what he has to say.
We could play an evil campaign.
Wow, what an original idea.
I know, right? What an original idea that will definitely be very fun and nothing will go wrong ever.
Guys, I don't know if this is a good idea.
Evil campaign! Evil campaign! Evil campaign! Evil campaign! So, you have arrived in the city of goodness and justice. Evil McEvil Man and Susan from the evil McEvil tribe. Yes, you step into the city and along the street you see a homeless man.
I'm going to kill that homeless man with a natural 20.
Oh, wow.
And max damage.
You decapitate him in the streets and people begin running. That was very evil for you to do. Regardless of
Не, что-то не очень смешно, блядь.
people,
Как-то это просто, блядь, мы злые, мы просто убиваем людей. Ой, Ранин вылетел к хуям.
Я думаю, они обсуждают банальные вещи из разряда...
Блядь, нас людей убивают просто так, даже, блядь, никогда мы не договаривались, какая у нас компания, блядь. Мне он не нравится, я убью его, блядь. Я задушу его, блядь. Еще что-то.
Да, бля, у нас в России людей так и так убивают, без причины, блядь.
Не, домой.
Или можно это посмотреть про Он фидж, точнее, ее dice rolls.
Покажи паладин тогда, не знаю, он how to play паладин.
Не смотрел.
This video was sponsored by the deckofmany.com and also my awesome patrons. If you like this video, play Paladin, huh? The oath-sworn protector, the one with a purpose. Do you like to bolt yourself down to a set of rules that you can't work around, even with other characters, which causes the
Ничего, это так.
eventual decline of a party or character because you don't know how to play one? That's right. Today we're gonna bully the paladin, 'cause why not? Insulting it doesn't require you to be talented. Your oath doesn't stick to a deity. Oh no it don't. You can play a sad song with a channel divinity. Open up your eyes and pray to the mother of dawn. She spells a poem that translates into hold on. Your backstory doesn't need to be an epic fable. Just remember there's other people at the table. Words are powerful, but you stand up to the stones and
Фольга
sticks.
творит чудеса.
Yeah, maybe Smite's too strong, but that's an easy thing to
Не фольга?
Swear your oath to a devil and name.
Я не знаю, что такое спандекс. Ладно, да.
Him a wormwood. Stop thinking that the paladin is limited to being only lawful good. Open up your eyes and pray to the mother of dawn. Open up your eyes. She spells a poem that translates into hold on. Your backstory doesn't need to be an epic fable. Just remember there's other people at the table.
Это песня 10 минут длится.
I don't mean to make it sound like I hate this class. I don't. I just think that you all suck ass at playing this class.
Well,
Пиздец какой-то.
that was
Я так тоже делаю.
unnecessarily emotional.
Так тоже делаешь.
Emotional tag in the title. Anyways, my point is that I think paladins get a bad rep. They can be one of the coolest, interesting classes if you play it right. But a lot of people have buried paladin under lawful stupid. Well,
Lawful stupid, блядь! Это он есть только хаотично злой.
That you can create with a paladin, like having an oath that's essentially your wedding vows, or becoming an oath breaker who does their best to abandon their oath. If you're planning on playing a paladin, do two things. Chuck the alignment system out the window, even though I kind of like the alignment system still, but whatever. And make a character, not a
I follow the god of justice, and I'm here to pound my religion into everyone I meet. Hope I don't constantly disagree with the party.
I want to take a moment right now to go to the player's handbook and formally say,
Yeah, just fuck this entire section where it teaches you how to be a paladin. Cause it's wrong.
It speaks of paladins being the ones who fight evil, and they are holy and righteous. Okay, D&D, here's the thing. When you confine a class to a morality, they all end up the same. What's the point of playing a paladin in 5e when you can be a warlock who is also an entertainer, or a ranger who's an acolyte? My perspective of the paladin is someone who undergoes the ritual of an oath
Хаотично
and
злой паладин,
swears to uphold
черный
it.
рыцарь, бля,
This in
какой-нибудь.
turn appeases a
Рыцарь
god
смерти,
or
что
form of
такое.
magic that's ritualistic. It's like in Witcher when people can curse others into undeath just by word of mouth. Your paladin believes in the words they speak, and that's what brings them to their power and magic. Yes, I'm aware you don't get your oath until level 3, but that just doesn't make sense to be like, ah yes, I'm thinking about being a paladin. Now I have lay on hands. Take that oath at level 1, then if you progress through levels with it, you get the reward